Joe Worrell, Harry Toffolo, Scott McKenna, Gonzalo Montiel, and youngsters Brandon Aguilera, Isapa Osong, Jamie McDonnell, Joe Gardner, and they're joined by Matt Turner, the American international goalkeeper. A couple of changes for Blackpool from the side that drew at the City Ground. Dan Grimshaw, as the fans are just giving us the mull of Kintyre before kick-off. And that will tell you that we're just about set to go. Dan Grimshaw in goal for Blackpool. They played with a back five at the City Ground. I suspect it'll be the same tonight. Jordan Gabriel, Callum Connolly, Marvin Ekpateta, James Husband and Andy Lyons. Then four in midfield: CJ Hamilton, Sonny Carey, Oliver Norburn and Albie Morgan, and Jordan Rhodes up front. Their subs: Richard O'Donnell, Matthew Pennington, Owen Dale, Kyle Joseph, Karamoko Dembele, Matty Virtue, Shane Levery, Ollie Casey and Tashan Oakley-Booth. The players have taken the knee, and on the instruction of Darren Bond, our official, who is from Lancashire. Where are we? We get underway. He's actually from about the Wigan area. It's a big old county. And Forest are playing from left to right in the first half as we look at it. So the Armfield stand is behind Odysseus, who has the ball played back to him and chips it out to the left-hand side for Nuno. And now Danilo sends it back to Odysseus again, who's being put under pressure but lays it out to the right for Nico Williams. Difficult ball to control, reared up at him, and he's put under pressure by Lyons. Ball spins right up in the air and out for a Blackpool throw, level with the edge of the Forest penalty area. Down there, left-hand side, near side to us. And Blackpool straight away in Forest faces, Steve Hodge.
Yes, and also a very bobbly pitch.
Yeah, very difficult to control. We'll get more on that in a second, because here come Blackpool with Sonny Carey, 25 yards out, rolls it backwards for Norburn, and he sends it across to the right-hand side. Chipped forward towards the back edge of the penalty area. Dominguez gets up and heads it away. Not very far, though. It's going to come for Albie Morgan to volley from 25 yards or so, low and wide, and it goes out for a goal kick. Yeah, the pitch here is very much playable. We should stress that. They've had a cover on protecting the pitch. The surroundings are all covered in the frost, the ice and the frost that's been scraped off those covers when they took them off. And there are still some fragments of that lying about, scattered on the playing surface. The thing is, they haven't been able to water it, so it'll be dry, I guess. It'll harden, because we are at 0 degrees pretty much, and it's very, very, as Steve Hodge has already said, bobbly in certain areas, and it is certainly not the carpet that Forest players are used to.
No, I just saw two back passes there to Odysseus, the goalkeeper, and just thinking, please don't bobble, please don't bobble. And for him today, it's about getting his touch right, light touches, and get the ball away as soon as he can, really, but take no risks.
Throw for Blackpool on the far side, their right, sent forward down the right-hand side towards Jordan Rhodes, who's near the corner flag. He's doing battle with Nuno, and Blackpool have still got it away on that far side. Then there's another tackle by Nuno, and he manages to get the ball away. Only half away, though. Blackpool have won it again off Danilo, and out it goes to Jordan Gabriel. Feeds it forward towards CJ Hamilton. He lays it off for Norburn. Back it comes for a high ball. Too high, too deep, and goes out for a goal kick. It was Callum Connolly who lofted it high towards the back post, and it's going to be a goal kick, and it remains 0-0. But Forest haven't got out their half in the first 3 minutes.
No, I mean, they're being brave on the ball now. This is trying to play out from the back, but this time he's thought better of it early in the game. Why not as well? Get the ball up the pitch. I mean, I wouldn't give any encouragement whatsoever to Blackpool trying to play out from the back, so he's gone with that route one, and I don't blame him.
3 minutes played, then 0-0. It's match night from BBC Radio Nottingham, a far from full Bloomfield Road. One of the factors that we thought Forest might have to contend with tonight as the Premier League side would be a baying atmosphere, and we're not quite seeing that. The Blackpool fans away to our right, the sort of tower end, are noisy in the early stages. The rest of the ground is probably only about half full, if that. Certainly away to our left, it's maybe only a quarter full. And away to our left, 2,000 Forest fans out of an allocation of almost 4,000, so a big sterile area to our right. Here's Yates picking up the ball with some space in midfield, lofts it forward towards Callum Hudson-Odoi. It drops over the head of Callum Connolly, and Hudson-Odoi then plays it off Connolly as he recovers and out for a corner.
Yeah, decent ball from Ryan Yates there over the top. The ball wouldn't come down for Odoi quickly enough, and the defenders got back, but there's a poor header there from the centre half of Blackpool, Ekpiteta, and Yates got away straight away.
Nuno Tavares to take the corner. A left back, left-footed, out-swinging corner. No Morgan Gibbs-White, of course, for set pieces tonight. In it comes from Nuno towards the penalty spot. Murillo's header, good save. Almost breaks for Omobamidele, and then it's smothered away from him again by Grimshaw. Murillo with his header down by the far post. And Grimshaw got down smartly, smothered it. It fell almost to Omobamidele, but Grimshaw got something on that as well, as Omobamidele was trying to tuck it in from a tight angle. And it goes out for another corner. This is from the right-hand side, and Dominguez takes it in towards the near post. Danilo gives it back to Dominguez. Down the line, it's played to Danilo again. Fires it in low across the penalty area. Cleared to the edge of the box. Nico Williams with a volley and gets it all wrong off the outside of his left boot. And it goes high and wide, and it's a goal kick. But Murillo was not far away from giving Forest an early lead.
Yeah, good corner from Tavares there on the left wing with his left foot. Ball killed away, probably about penalty spot area. Downward header, completely unmarked, went to the bottom right hand corner. For a second I thought Grimshaw wasn't going to get there, but he dived his left low down and smothered the ball wide of the goal. Good header and a good save from the keeper.
So it remains 0-0. 5.5 play. That's the first time Forest have got forward into the Blackpool half. And here's Omobamidele laying the ball off to Murillo, who gives it to Mangala. Mangala now for Williams, and Williams back out to Omobamidele, and across his back four he plays it to Murillo once more. He's got gloves on, the Brazilian, but he's still wearing short sleeves, and he pings a ball into the feet of Ryan Yates. Yates just across halfway, right hand side. Dominguez tucks it back for Mangala into his own half, and now Nico Williams for Mangala again. Mangala is the deepest of the midfielders, and Danilo and Yates kind of playing ahead of him really, as they've turned it back through Omobamidele to Odysseus. And Mangala's gone back in between the centre halves now to pick up the ball and then lay it to his left for Murillo. Murillo runs away past CJ Hamilton, feeds it forward towards Nuno Tavares, who's chasing after it all the way, and Grimshaw has to come outside his penalty area and thump the ball away downfield. Mangala then backheels it away on the volley from Jordan Rhodes and out for a throw to Blackpool, which is about 20 yards inside the Forest half.
Yeah, just one thing about Forest formation tonight. Obviously Hudson-Odoi is playing left wing tonight from the start, and Nico Dominguez is playing right wing, but not obviously not a right wing, he's playing very, very narrow as well. Mangala sat in front of the back four, and ahead of him, like a little triangle there, is Danilo and Ryan Yates.
And Dominguez is putting Husband under pressure. Husband clears long, but he's finding CJ Hamilton, the former Mansfield man, offside, and Forest get a free kick.
Yeah, I mean their front three, like you say, CJ Hamilton, Rhodes and it's Carey, are all playing very narrow up the pitch, making it very hard for Forest to play out from the back end and making them forcing them wide really as they are now.
Yeah, a lot more adventurous on their own pitch. Blackpool, I mean that sounds silly to say, they went 2-0 up in the first half at the City Ground, but they were very much a 5-4-1 formation. As Steve said, they're getting CJ Hamilton and Sonny Carey up alongside Jordan Rhodes a lot more in the early stages of this one at Bloomfield Road tonight. 0-0, Nuno just inside his own half, infield to Mangala, but his pass is cut out by Connolly. There's a battle going on near the touchline on the far side on halfway. Nuno wins it, lofted forward but cleared by Ekpiteta into the Forest half. Murillo brings it down, he's being put under pressure by Rhodes, he just turns away from Rhodes and rolls it into the feet of Wood. And Wood lays it off first time to Hudson-Odoi. Back into their own half go Forest with Omobamidele to turn it to his right for Nico Williams. 15 yards shy of the halfway line, turns it back to Omobamidele under pressure from Rhodes, goes backwards for Odysseus, and the Greek keeper clears to halfway. Wood trying to get there ahead of Ekpiteta, can't do so. Then Danilo brings down Norman, And a free kick for Blackpool just inside the Forest half. 0-0, 8.5 played.
Yeah, just see what they'll do now. Blackpool ball on the halfway line. I thought they might go just lump it in the box, but they're going to play it short and try and play their way through.
This is Forest's first FA Cup replay since the 2013-14 season, so 10 years since they had a cup replay at Preston, and Forest won it. They won it that night away at Preston in a replay. That's the last time Forest won an away tie in the FA Cup. Long time for a replay, far too long for an away win in the competition. Here's Lyons coming forward, lays it to his left for Husband, low ball into the Forest box, cleared by a sliding Mangala, and it's allowed to run out for a throw for the Seasiders. Thrown in towards the corner of the penalty area. Tackle from Dominguez, then a tackle from Yates, which is ridden by Carey, then Dominguez as well gets a challenge in, and then Williams turns nicely away from Lyons and gives it to Mangala on the edge of his penalty area. And now Murillo out to the left hand side for Nuno. Nico and Nuno, the fullbacks tonight for Forest, as the ball is played back to Murillo once again, and he gives it to Nuno once more. Striding forward at pace, drifting infield across halfway, now lays it off across the halfway line for Yates, and he gives it to Nico Williams. Williams into Dominguez's feet, back to Yates for Williams again. Now Yates again on halfway, and he gives it infield to Mangala. Back for Ryan Yates. Forest a little bit static on halfway. Mangala is having to go back into his own half and drops it back to Omar Bamadeli on the edge of his penalty area, all the way back to Odysseus, who rolls it out to the right for Omar Bamadeli once more. And Omar Bamadeli clears down the right hand side, but it's sliced out of play. That area of the pitch in that sort of right back position for Forest, which is where Omar Bamadeli played it for, it's one of the most bobbly areas from what we've seen, and we haven't been right over on the far side to see what that's like, but that corner is where we walked into the ground, and there were quite a lot of the bits of frost on top there.
And Forest players have been very comfortable on the ball, very calm and very confident really. I think we've seen the keeper have the ball probably half a dozen times now with back passes, but so far he's dealt with them fine, with no dodgy bobbles. So yeah, but it is a tough pitch to play on really tonight.
Here's Chris Wood, and he gives it to Dominguez. Dominguez floats the ball across field, but it's going to be picked up by Gabriel. He's challenged by Danilo, and then Callum Hudson-Odoi gives Jordan Gabriel a little shove, and he goes down. Free kick for Blackpool, 15 yards inside their own half, taken quickly and well down the left hand side. Andy Lyons in some space, closed down now, but gives it back to Husband to cross dangerously into the Forest box, and dealt with well. And Mangala leads Forest counter-attack, gives it to Hudson-Odoi, who miscontrols. Nuno trying to keep it alive, tackling Jordan Gabriel. It's another free kick given against Nuno. That one looked the most questionable so far, but Blackpool have got on with it quickly again. And this is Albie Morgan, one of the scorers at the City Ground, along with the former Forest man Jordan Gabriel. And back it goes for Marvin Ekpateta to ping a ball forward. Omar Bamadeli gets up and heads it away. Nico Williams picks it up, and he's fouled as he's running past Blackpool player. His way was just cut off, and a free kick for Forest.
You could just see a couple of times there when Dominguez gave the ball away, and then they had a free kick, and he was in the middle of the pitch, and straight away Sonny Carey went inside, knowing that on his outside would be the left wing back. Fraser Burden, that's why they quickly got away there and got the ball in the box. So it's certainly an area they'll try and, if they can, exploit a lot more, I would imagine.
Murillo forward towards Hudson-Odoi, back heels it into the path of Danilo, halfway inside the Blackpool half. This is Yates keeping it moving right hand side to Dominguez, corner of the penalty area. Dominguez with Nico Williams making the run outside him. He crosses, it's blocked, and it spins into the arms of Grimshaw, the goalkeeper, and it remains 0-0 with 13 minutes played on Match Night from BBC Radio Nottingham. I mentioned our close proximity to the Forest supporters. I'm sure throughout the evening you may hear one or two choice words. I'm sure you appreciate there's not an awful lot we can do about that. Haven't got Cloughie's old sign, have we? Gentlemen, no swearing, please. You didn't fit that in the boot, did you? No. Otherwise we would have done, obviously. Nuno sends the ball to Murillo inside his own half, and he's worked it out towards Callum Hudson-Odoi. Jordan Gabriel all over him, and that'll be a free kick for Forest, halfway inside their own half.
And that should turn out to be a really good battle, because obviously, you know, we know him well, the lad from Forest, Jordan Gabriel. He's a strong lad, he's a good runner, he's physically strong as well, but obviously Odoi's a clever runner off the ball as well and got technique, so that's a good battle, those two tonight.
Scored his first goal of the season at the City Ground, of all places, to get Blackpool on their way 10 days ago. Albie Morgan added a second, and for Forest responded with the Dominguez Gibbs White 1-2, which had done for Manchester United the week before. Mangala sends this forward towards Wood, but he can't control under pressure from Connolly, and this is cleared by Husband, but that'll run away in Forest half for a throw to the Reds, about 15 yards or so inside their own territory. Forest tonight in that third strip, the all navy blue with a salmon frontage, which is I suppose that salmon's not too far away from Blackpool's tangerine, but no real colour clash tonight, with Forest in predominantly all navy, as Murillo controls, striding through towards the halfway line, and takes control of the ball and gets Forest possession back. And now here's Yates, 10 yards into the Blackpool half, switching it out to the right hand side for Nico Dominguez, who's got Nico Williams running inside him, tucks it to Nico Williams now. Williams goes for the byline down the right hand side, fires over the cross, blocked by Husband, and out for another Forest corner. And Forest moved the ball quickly, Blackpool struggled. It was the same at the City Ground, but they just didn't do it often enough. They've done it more often in this first quarter of an hour. They've almost scored from one corner, now they've forced another. Dominguez to take the corner from the right hand side. Forest with a crowded penalty spot. In it comes towards the near post. It's Yates who gets up, and at the back post it's fired in. And on his debut, it's Andrew Omobamidele. Yates rose and got a head to it, and it flashed across the face of goal and at the back stick. 16 minutes into his Forest career, Omobamidele finishes, and Forest are in front. They've already proved dangerous from one corner earlier in the game, and now from another. They take the lead at Bloomfield Road in the FA Cup third round replay. And it's the 21-year-old debutant, Andrew Omobamidele, 1-0 Forest.
Yeah, I mean, a really good goal from Forest there. Like you said, Colin, they've been a threat on corners. A lovely pinged in near post cross. Near post flick on, and the back post there, Omobamidele, no one near him at all. Free as a bird, composed left foot to volley, flew past the keeper, and off he went to the corner flag in delight for his first goal for Forest. Thoroughly deserved. We've seen 2 or 3 corners already tonight that caused them problems, with a great header in the first 5 minutes, so that's the second one there, and the first goal of the night, and a great finish with his left foot.
And so Forest get themselves in front for the first time in the tie, having fallen 2-0 down at the City Ground, but they've started this one much better, with a lot more zip in their stride than they had at the City Ground 10 days ago. And now have their noses in front. I'm glad you could see round the stanchion, because I'll tell you now, when Andrew Omobamidele met that, I couldn't see a thing.
I think I'm right, the left foot of volley.
I saw Yates's flick, and then I saw the net bulge, and that was it. There's a big stanchion to our right got in the way. Here's Dominguez involved again, turning the ball back to Williams, back to halfway, and he rolls it back to the goal scorer, and he rolls it into his penalty area for Odysseus, who turns it left hand side for Nuno. Now Murillo chips it forward. It's chested down by Connolly away from Hudson-Odoi, and Forest will get a throw midway inside their own half on the far side, their left, and it is Nuno who's going to take it, and he throws it down the line towards Hudson-Odoi, who tries to flick on for Chris Wood, but just gets his angles wrong and it goes straight out of play for a Blackpool throw 10 yards inside their half. Elsewhere in the Cup, Bristol Rovers have taken the lead against Norwich. This is clipped forward by Albie Morgan. CJ Hamilton trying to get away, and Murillo is alongside him to hook it away and turn it away out into touch. Just for a second I thought CJ Hamilton had got away and in the clear, and then Murillo.
I think you're right, Colin, he was away, but Murillo put the extra burners on enough. He got back,
turned on those afterburners just to make up that extra few yards. It'll be a throw for Blackpool. Jordan Gabriel from the right hand side. Have to peer around another stanchion to see what's happening. All the action seems to be behind stanchions just for the minute. Well, they've worked it all the way back into their own half for their goalkeeper Grimshaw, who's midway inside his own half. Now turn forward down the left hand side towards Andy Lyons, who's well forward, the left wing back. But Forest have numbers back again. Dominguez and Williams forcing him away. Albie Morgan with a crossfield ball cut out by Hudson-Odoi. He loses out though to CJ Hamilton. And here's Albie Morgan on halfway to turn it left hand side for James Husband, former Norwich man, and Doncaster. Now Ekpiteta inside the centre circle, and now Norburn for Morgan. Lots of possession for Blackpool, then given away by Husband to Mangala. And Forest have plenty forward here if Mangala can find them. Tucks it to his left for Nuno. No real urgency about the counter-attack now as Blackpool get plenty of men back. And when Forest broke that up, a loose pass from Husband collected by Mangala. Suddenly he looked up and there were about 5 ahead of Arel Mangala, who has it again now and turns it back to Omar Bamidele. Here's Mangala again, tucks it to his left for Nuno. Poor control from him, and then brings down Jordan Gabriel. He'll say he played the ball, but he most certainly played the man first. Free kick Blackpool, 10 yards, 15 yards inside their own half.
Yeah, same routine again. They're forcing Dominguez to come back and what the left wing back of Blackpool. The front three right up against the Forest back four, narrow up the pitch. He's trying to get the two fullbacks if they can on the ball a lot and then double up down their sides, but he's somebody, to be fair, watched a few times over his career, CJ Hamilton, and on his day he can be a really good player, so you can't dismiss him tonight. And of course Jordan Rhodes is someone you can never dismiss against Forest.
Before I gave this stat out during the first game, but it's worthy of repeat when we get a second, which is not now because Sonny Carey's trying to get on the end of this as Omar Bamidele heads it up in the air and then away. Second time of asking, and Yates tucks it to his right for Williams, who gives it to Dominguez, who turns away from Lyons. Lovely ball in field to Yates, and Yates with a high ball towards Callum Hudson-Odoi, who's offside. Flag goes up as he brings it under control. Jordan Rhodes has played against Forest 21 times in his career now, after the first game. How many goals do you reckon he scored?
12, 13?
7.
But it's more than that, actually.
And 3 of those were in one game, in a first half hat-trick for Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, 4-0.
And they were the last goals he scored against Forest, and that was 7 meetings ago.
Oh, he's getting older now.
Well, I was going to say, some of those I think we were substitute when Forest took on Huddersfield in the promotion season. Here's Husband coming forward down the left-hand side, rolls it infield to Carey, and again Blackpool forced backwards, but Morgan finds Norburn with a chip towards the edge of the penalty area for Rhodes, headed away by Murillo. And that's a good ball from Danilo to Wood now for Yates, and Yates moves it on right-hand side towards Dominguez, and Dominguez just holding his arms out to say, no, I'm going to slow things down now, but he's found a really good ball to Mangala across halfway. He gives it to Danilo as Forest work it from right to left. Now here's Hudson-Odoi keeping the ball in play and chipping it into the penalty area for Wood, but just too high for him as it curls away and out for a goal kick. Forest have got a bit of confidence, they've got a little bit of swagger about them, having taken the lead here. 23 minutes played and it's 1-0.
Yeah, no real panic on the ball, good movement off the ball to receive it. You saw Yates there, Mangala and Williams getting out a little bit of hole in the right back situation. Eventually the ball's pushed wide left towards Hudson-Odoi. Decent ball in the box, but just a bit too much for Chris Wood, but Forest had the ball again.
Murillo again bringing it down beautifully under pressure from CJ Hamilton. And now Williams for Dominguez down this near side the right, infield to Mangala, first time for Yates, lays it off for Dominguez again, still under pressure from Carey, gives it Yates, tucks it back for Carey again, and back to the edge of the penalty area for the Forest goal scorer, Andrew Omobamidele. 7 Republic of Ireland caps to his name. And tucks it to his right here for Dominguez. Good ball infield again to Mangala, and Mangala forward to Danilo's feet. Danilo looks for the through ball for Wood, but it's cut out by Ekpiteta, and Connolly tucks it back to Grimshaw, the goalkeeper. Now Husband for Blackpool, halfway inside his own half. This is Albie Morgan, former Charlton midfielder, into Jordan Rhodes. Rhodes goes down, referee waves play on. Nico Williams comes away with the ball, feeds it through towards Wood, and again overhits it. Chris Wood not getting much service so far tonight. Whenever they look for him, they've slightly overhit it.
Yeah, the one previous to that you mentioned about he actually spun in behind and the ball went short, low and flat into the centre half's feet. So you're right, he made 2-3 good runs there. The ball into him. To be fair, on a bobbly pitch, hard balls to play anyway, but then they got nowhere near on that occasion.
Grimshaw takes the goal kick short for Blackpool. Forest, of course, next in action on Saturday at Brentford. It's a 5:30 kick-off. Match day with you from 2 o'clock, as usual, with commentary on Notts County and Mansfield first, and then Forest at Brentford follows at 5:30 on Saturday evening. Here's Lyons for Blackpool. Ball is cut out by Nico Williams, but retrieved by Carey, and back to halfway go Blackpool with Norburn, and Norburn rolls it square across halfway through the centre circle for Callum Connolly, bit loose with his square ball in turn behind Albie Morgan, but Morgan's got time to recover. Elsewhere tonight in the Cup, Bristol Rovers leading Norwich 1-0, and it's still Everton 0, Crystal Palace 0. As Sonny Carey pings a ball out wide to the right hand side for Blackpool, tucked back by Gabriel to Connolly. Connolly's cross into the Forest penalty area, and on the edge of the box Lyons dishes it off for Husband, low ball in, blocked by Mangala, and now Williams gives it to Dominguez, back to Williams, tight to the touchline, plays it down the line towards Wood. Ekpiteta knocks it away from him. Dominguez with a strong challenge wins the throw for his side 25 yards from their own corner flag.
Yeah, we just saw there the one so far quality ball in there from Blackpool from the right back, pinged in, lots of pace, quite flat as well, and the ball didn't bobble Blackpool's way, but that's the kind of ball we're hoping can bobble their way one occasion tonight.
Here's Yates for Williams, back infield to Yates, the one-touch football, slightly dangerous around the edge of their penalty area, but Danilo hoists it clear, and Dominguez rather jumps into Husband.
Yeah, that was steady, because you could see Husband was struggling, the balls wouldn't come down to head it quickly enough, and what he could do really was head the ball nowhere, but he was nudged in the back by Dominguez and give away a cheap free kick.
Which is just down in front of us, a couple of yards in from this near touchline, Blackpool's left, and a couple of yards inside Forest half. And Husband waits for the likes of Connolly and Ekpiteta, two of the central defenders, to run forward, then rolls it down the left hand side to Lyons, who's in all sorts of space left wing. He turns the crossover, but it's a poor one, and it's controlled inside the penalty area by Nico Williams. Cleared by Dominguez up towards Hudson-Odoi, who's got away from his man who wanted a free kick, and Hudson-Odoi down the left hand side, still going towards the Blackpool penalty area, still going on. Hudson-Odoi jinks in field, and now he's held up, but he rolls it across to the right for Nico Williams. Williams 20 yards out, Blackpool with plenty back now, swaps passes with Yates, and Williams is going to have to go back again for Dominguez, and Dominguez now for Omobamidele on halfway, then Murillo gives it back to Omobamidele, and Dominguez, and all the way back to Odysseus as Forest keep possession.
Chance there as well. I just think the pitch there give Hudson-Odoi 1-2 problems. He had too many touches, and eventually I think one of his touches went behind him and the bobbles went against him, and he lost that chance.
Yates for Dominguez, right hand side of the field, into Chris Wood, holds it up, gives it to Yates again, moves it quickly to his left for Danilo. Danilo now over the top left-hand side for Hudson-Odoi. Will he keep that in play? Yes, he will. Oh, yes, he will. And the flag goes up for offside. And I thought he might have timed his run right that time, Callum Hudson-Odoi, but we're not directly in line. Assistant referee is. Stuck his flag up, of course, a little bit late once Callum Hudson-Odoi had touched the ball. And a free kick for Blackpool, which is going to be left for Ekpiteta to take. Forest leading 1-0, 29 minutes in. Goal scored by Andrew Omobamidele on his debut. 16 minutes in. From a Nico Dominguez right wing corner, flick on by Yates. And there he was at the back post to stick Forest in front. Here's CJ Hamilton though, having a run against Murillo. Can't get past him, Murillo with the challenge, but Blackpool do have a corner.
A good challenge from Murillo there, because like I said before, Hamilton can shift when he gets into his stride, and Murillo there, small player, got back quickly, small but quick and strong. Corner far side for Blackpool, and then quite a big team to be fair. We're not the biggest team in the world tonight physically.
Cross goes Albie Morgan to take. Forest head coach Nuno stands with his arms folded just at the edge of his technical area, looking on. Big coat, beanie hat, tracksuit bottoms. And the referee Darren Bond for a quick word with Andrew Omobamidele and Marvin Ekpiteta. Ekpiteta looks the tallest in that penalty area. He's marshalled by Omobamidele as Albie Morgan takes the free kick in towards the near post. Nuno Tavares gets up and heads it out towards the edge of the box. Blackpool forced backwards but still have possession. This is Sonny Carey from the right hand side. He's rather sliced that, but it'll be picked up by Morgan, who shoots low, wide of the target from 20 yards or so. Inside right channel, left foot shot, but dragged it wide, and Odysseus had it covered. And nearly 31 minutes in, it remains 1-0 to Forest.
High press again from Blackpool at the goal kick, and as usual,
Odysseus says, get up the field.
Shift, which, that's sensible. And tonight of all nights on a bobbly pitch, icy pitch as well. 1-0 up away from home. Not a nice evening really, so good decision from the keeper.
Odysseus clears left to right. Wood gets up and heads on towards Dominguez, but not quite accurate enough. As Albie Morgan goes back to retrieve, sends it back to Grimshaw under pressure from Wood, and dishes it off to Norburn. Now it's with Husband on the edge of his penalty area, under pressure, but turns and clears well up towards Carey. Carey gets a bit of control on it and then nudges Nico Williams in the back out into touch, and Blackpool end up with the throw, which Husband is going to take 15 yards or so shy of the halfway line. Chipped forward by Husband when he gets the return ball. Williams heads it away. Lyons back across halfway. Difficult bouncing ball between Carey and Murillo. Murillo wins it. Hoisted away by Omobamidele and comes down on halfway. Callum Connolly gets it. He's a bit short with his pass to Jordan Gabriel, but Gabriel withstands the challenge of Hudson-Odoi. Big strong tackle from the former Forest man. And now here's Husband, 10 yards inside the Forest half, infield to Morgan. Morgan finds Norburn, and Norburn sends it back across halfway for Ekpiteta. Tucks this to his right for Connolly. Connolly chips it down the inside right channel for CJ Hamilton. Controls on his chest and rolls it backwards for Jordan Gabriel. Gabriel having a run infield, lays it off for Norburn. Norburn with the early cross. Nico Williams heads it straight into the back of Ryan Yates. They're appealing for handball, nothing doing. Into the penalty area, it's dinked again, and then Nuno plays it off the Blackpool man, Jordan Rhodes, and out for a Forest goal kick. And it remains 1-0 to the Reds, and we've been playing for 33 minutes at Bloomfield Road, where it's cold, but I don't know about you, Steve Hodge, it's not quite as cold as I was expecting yet.
Still pretty cold.
Yeah, it's chilly.
It is chilly.
As chilly goes, it's chilly.
Yeah, I've got 7 layers on tonight, so I should be all right.
I see. You beat me by 1, but then again, you always do. I shouldn't be surprised at that.
My toes are still struggling, to be fair, at the moment.
Hodgie wears 5 layers in August. Danilo here is fouled near halfway, and it'll be a free kick for Forest, just to the left of the centre circle. Reds leading 1-0 on Bamidele with the debut goal. And Murillo, his central defensive partner, who's been excellent again so far tonight, takes it short, gets it back, sends it to his left now for Nuno. Rather fires it in at him. And a throw conceded, taken quickly down the line to Jordan Rhodes, and Murillo gets back and hammers the ball actually into the crowd after the initial challenge had been very good to deny the cross from Jordan Rhodes. And as the ball came back to him off the advertising boards, he volleyed it high into the crowd. I think he apologised to the supporters after he'd done it, and he's got booked for it because it's kicking the ball away effectively. It was a very good challenge again from Murillo, but he's picked up a yellow card for his trouble. And it's another corner for Blackpool. Forest leading 1-0, but Blackpool having a decent spell. And Albie Morgan takes the corner in again towards the near post. Nuno went up with his man at the near post and headed it behind, and it's another corner.
Yeah, I mean, that was great defending on the near post from Danilo, because that ball was smashed in the near post flat. They're trying to catch out the Forest guys at the back stick, so we'll see what he does this time.
Last two have gone into that near post area. Here's Morgan again. This has gone very high towards the back post. Nico Dominguez heads it away towards the edge of the box, and then Sonny Carey goes all the way back into the centre circle for CJ Hamilton to chip one forward towards the right wing. Morgan meets it first time and volleys it across the Forest penalty area. At a stretch, it's cleared by Bamidele, and then Nico Dominguez wins a challenge, and then Hudson-Odoi is challenged in turn by Albie Morgan, and it goes out for a throw to Forest midway inside their own half. He's having another good game, Albie Morgan, in midfield. Played well at the City Ground, scored. And he's growing more influential in this game as well. But his team are 1-0 down, Blackpool, as Husband has it 10 yards inside his own half. Forward towards Rhodes, who heads it on towards CJ Hamilton. He tries to lay it off for Carey, but it was behind Carey, and Forest get the ball clear, but Wood can't control.
Unfortunate there. The back four in a bad line. The ball picked on from Rhodes, and a good touch there from Hamilton. He gets a shot away.
Morgan again to his left for Husband, back near halfway. Morgan once more. This time swaps passes with his captain, Oliver Norburn. He's put under pressure by Danilo.
You can actually see they've been a well-coached team by Neil Critch. There was Liverpool 23s years ago, and the midfield players are composed on the ball. They don't panic under pressure, and they try and play good football.
Free kick, just a couple of yards into the Forest half again. Husband is the man who's going to take it, and he rolls it to his right. Norburn gives it him back. Husband down the left hand side, fires over the cross back post aimed at Ekpiteta, headed away by Nuno and then further away by Danilo, but only as far as Norburn. Norburn chips it forward again. Nuno's in the way of that as well and tries to break out, but can't do so because Norburn tackles him, wins the ball, sends it in low, cleared away again, this time by the interception from Wood. And now Forest, well, potentially looked to break, but when he looked up, Ryan Yates, all he could see, I think, was about 6 tangerine shirts. And we're all back in their shape very, very quickly, preventing the fast counter. And Mangala tucks it back into the middle of his own half for Bamidele. Plays it away to the left from Murillo. Little ball infield to Danilo. Danilo out to the left-hand side again for Hudson-Odoi. Now Murillo, Danilo, and now Nuno. Nuno, 10 yards inside the Blackpool half, turns away from Callum Connolly and feeds it through towards Wood, but again it doesn't reach Chris Wood because this time it's cut out by Ekpiteta. Jordan Gabriel clears down the line, and that's going to be going out of play because Murillo just levers CJ Hamilton off the ball and lets it run for a throw. It's another example where they've tried to get Wood in but just can't.
No, can't find him again.
At the moment.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Wood, to be fair, has only had a kick in the game really so far. I don't know, he's half an hour gone or more. Just been very isolated on his own. Made some decent runs, balls never arrived at his feet or over the top. And so far for him, a frustrating night.
Mangala plays it across to Yates, 15 yards inside the Blackpool half. Yates comes right hand side for Williams. He plays it back down the line to Yates. He's right wing now, having continued his run, taking on Husband near the corner flag. Now has to try and beat Lyons as well. Comes backwards for Mangala, and then Yates tries to give it to Dominguez but misplaces his pass, and it's out for a throw to Blackpool, level with the edge of their own penalty area. James Husband across to take, in no hurry, just ambling across to take it. And with 7 minutes to go to half time, there's plenty in the Blackpool crowd who are deciding to go and get a first half time cup of tea or hot pie or something. This is sent back to his goalkeeper Ekpiteta with some pace on it, and Grimshaw controls and lays it to his right for Connolly. Now Gabriel running infield across the middle of his own half, and lays the ball off to his left now for James Husband. And back it goes again for Albie Morgan. Albie Morgan back to his goalkeeper again, and Grimshaw knocks it past Wood and then clears to halfway, but it's won by Nuno. Not for very long. Callum Connolly hooks it forward first time. Header away by Murillo, but picked up by Morgan in midfield. Poor ball from him this time. Dominguez intercepts. Poor ball from him. And collected by Husband. Now here's Sonny Carey dishing the ball off to Morgan on halfway, left-hand side. Back it goes to Husband. Into midfield for Norburn. Norburn turns away from Danilo, gives it Carey. Runs away from the challenge of Mangala and pings the ball out to the right-hand side for Gabriel, who's well forward. Jordan Gabriel rolls it down the inside right channel now for CJ Hamilton. Takes it back out to the right wing for Gabriel. Going to have to come back for Callum Connolly to cross first time. Headed away by Mangala, edge of the penalty area. Wood can't keep control of it. Norburn knocks it away from him and Blackpool have it again. 1-0 Forest, but Blackpool pressing. Here's Husband. Tried to play it inside the fullback, but it's cut out by Dominguez. Yates gets a kick in a challenge. Referee weighs play on. Yates stays down for a few seconds, now bounces back up again. I say bounces, gets back up again and then tests it gingerly once more, but he's looking okay. Odysseus clears out towards the left-hand side, but straight out of play. Thrown quickly down the line right-hand side by Blackpool to CJ Hamilton from Jordan Gabriel. CJ Hamilton turns it back for Callum Connolly. Connolly rolls it infield to Norburn and he tucks it back to halfway for Ekpiteta, and he's played it first time, too strong for Husband, and it runs out for a Forest throw. Yates looking to get on with it quickly. Not many players forward. He was on his own really, Ryan Yates, with the thought of maybe trying to catch Blackpool out.
In a sloppy 2 minutes for both teams, giving the ball away cheaply, which obviously when you're in front from Forest's point of view, that's fine, you don't mind that, because Blackpool are getting no impetus really, but just been a poor period in the game.
Ball is back with Odysseus, turns it to his right for Omobamidele. Now Nico Williams. Blackpool in Forest faces again. Cleared away, out into touch though by Omobamidele, and Husband prepares to take a throw from about 25 yards out, and it goes towards Rhodes, who tries to turn away from Mangala, but Mangala gives it to Nuno. And now here's Hudson-Odoi down the left-hand side, midway inside the Blackpool half, rolls it back infield to Mangala, who's got plenty of space to run into, does so, now turns it right-hand side for Nico Williams. Williams down the right wing for Yates, comes back for Williams once again, 20 yards out, wide right for Yates. Yates rolls it infield for Mangala, now Williams once more, and Forest going to go back to halfway through Williams to Omobamidele, and now Murillo, and Murillo turns the ball out towards Hudson-Odoi once more. Hudson-Odoi back into his own half for Murillo, chips it forward towards Nuno, chests it down inside the Blackpool half, turns it on the left wing for Danilo, infield, first time from Danilo to Wood on the edge of the box. He turns, gives it back to Danilo left wing. Danilo near the byline now, fires over the cross low into the near post, and it's put behind by Connolly for a Forest corner with 2.5 to go until half time. Reds leading 1-0.
Yeah, good passing play there from Forest down the left hand side. Nuno involved, Wood involved, Danilo involved, and eventually forced to cross at near the corner flag area from Danilo, cut out at the near post, but now at the corner on the far side with Nuno. And it's in the same position obviously, this corner as a corner in the first 5 minutes of the game when Murillo got his header and then he scored the first goal.
Nuno, he's going to take the corner from the left hand side, so an out swinging corner. Posse of bodies around the penalty spot, in it goes in towards the near post, and Ekpiteta has to head it away, comes out for Dominguez to volley, always rising over the crossbar, and out for a goal kick and it remains 1-0. Ekpiteta didn't look entirely happy with the way he had to try and defend that, as it was curling in towards his 6-yard box.
Yeah, I thought he did brilliantly actually to deal with it away. He had no one to help him out. The keeper stayed on the line, and he wasn't aware who was behind him, but he just flicked the ball away from goal and behind him towards the penalty spot area and dealt with it best he could.
It's Murillo clearing high into the back row of the main stand, away on the far side of Bloomfield Road. Throw in taken quickly down the line. Murillo is back again to intercept, knock it out for another Blackpool throw. This time it's only 4 or 5 yards up from the corner flag, and Jordan Gabriel strides forward to take. We're in the final minute of normal time at the end of the first half, with Forest leading by 1-0. Omar Bamidele after 16 minutes. Jordan Gabriel throws in towards the near post. Crowd of bodies, breaks, and the shot across the face of goal from Ekpiteta. I'm sure it was a shot. It's gone right the way through the 6-yard box and gone out for a throw in the end. Blackpool appealing furiously, 3 or 4 of them waving their arms around Darren Bond. I don't know if they saw a handball in at the near post, because there was a plethora of players in that near post area, and it broke for Ekpiteta. I'm fairly sure he was shooting for goal rather than driving it across the 6-yard box.
He definitely was. He caught it all wrong from the corner 6-yard box. He screwed it across the face of the 6-yard box with his right foot. A really good chance, and basically a long throw in, breaking the ball, fell his way, and it's a good chance for him.
We'll have 1 minute of added time. That's all. 1 minute from half time, as Nuno gives it to Danilo, but he's levered off the ball by Norburn midway inside his own half, and Blackpool have it, albeit Forest get back quickly, and it's turned back into their own half by Norburn again to Marvin Ekpiteta. Gives it to Albie Morgan, back for Ekpiteta again on halfway. Now he drives it forward towards the edge of the Forest box, and that'll go long and into the Forest box, and Williams leaves it. I think the referee is suggesting to Omar Bamidele, who I think was fouled by Jordan Rhodes in their aerial challenge, that if it hadn't gone through to the goalkeeper, he might have given a free kick, but it has gone through to Odysseus anyway, and when he clears, that might just about do it, because that's the minute of added time, and that is indeed half time here at Bloomfield Road in the FA Cup third round replay, and Forest lead by 1-0. It hasn't been an entirely comfortable first half, although Blackpool's best chance really of the half has come right at the end of it, falling to the centre half, Marvin Ekpiteta, at the back post, and drilled it right across the face of goal rather than towards goal. And Blackpool have had lots of possession, they've huffed and puffed, they've been in Forest faces, but without creating anything clear cut. And at the other end, Forest have forced a couple of corners from which they've looked pretty dangerous. They almost took the lead from one early one from Nuno from the left hand side, where Murillo's header was very well saved by Dan Grimshaw, and then they did take the lead from a Dominguez one from the right hand side, flicked on by Yates to the back post, and Andrew Omar Bamidele on his debut finishing off and giving Forest the lead after 16 minutes. It has at times been scrappy. You might not be too surprised about that, given the surface that they're playing on, which the ground staff here have done well, I think, to get a game on, given the freezing temperatures and the snow in the northwest over the last few days. So it hasn't always been a pretty feast of football by any stretch of imagination. Goalkeepers have barely been tested, bar those moments that I've just mentioned. And at the break, Forest are leading by 1-0, but not comfortably so, Steve Hodge.
No, I'd agree. I think it is a typical FA Cup game, with the home team on its pitch on a dodgy pitch with nothing to really lose, playing pretty well actually. I think Blackpool do try and get the ball down well. They don't always lump it, they mix it up a little bit, they'll try and play through the midfield, and they'll go long now and again. Like you said, I think Hamilton's always going to be a threat, and they've got in some decent areas without producing nothing at the end of it. I think our back four have dealt with things really well. Mangala's played really well with the ball at his feet, used it really well, as a Yates, to be fair. They all used the ball pretty well. Both teams, the final third, have not produced a lot really. Their back four haven't been tested that much. They have an issue on corners. When we've got corners, we've been a threat. Marilla's header in the first 5 minutes and the goal as well. But apart from that, lots of midfield play, technical play from both sides of midfield players, and wide. Our full-backs getting forward now and again, and their wing-backs getting forward now and again. But generally, it's been the back fours, back fives in control. And like I say, Colin, because of that, not much goal action really. And their main shot has been from a long throw in at the end of that half. Just a reminder there that, as we all know, that one is never enough, and certainly in an FA Cup tie away from home, that's what they'll cling to now. The game is not done. It's in the balance still. Good to be ahead at half time. I think we can play better. Certainly in the final third, Chris Wood's toiled away without any service whatsoever. Callum Hudson-Odoi, and I've been in these kind of games where you're playing as a winger and you want to get somebody, you want to smooth run of the ball, and it's just not there for him tonight. So he's having to just keep on dribbling and hoping for the best sometimes. But he's been quiet in the game. It's generally been a midfield battle of control really, and both teams have had their spells with the ball. But say at the end of it, not a lot in the final third, and hence we're in front by a set piece, which was a good set piece and a really good finish.
Yeah, I suppose really the fact that it was a set piece kind of just about sums up the half, really, doesn't it? And Forest are going to have to defend well from Blackpool set pieces in the second half, and hopefully get themselves another goal or two to put this tie to bed. It certainly isn't in bed just yet. At half-time at Bloomfield Road in the replay. Forest, though, have edged in front for the first time in the tie, thanks to a debut goal from Andrew Omobamidele. It's Blackpool 0, Forest 1.
Colin Fray and Steve Hodge, your commentary team on match night for BBC Radio Nottingham this evening. Online, of course, tonight in the UK as it's the FA Cup, as well as on digital radio and 103.8 and 95.5 FM. Those Forest fans can be quiet for a bit anyway at half-time, but lots of smiles on faces with what they've seen in that first 45 minutes, including that goal from Andrew Omobamidele, who has just slipped into the back four very comfortably, not done anything wrong, and has scored a neat goal at the back post as well. So far, so good for the Reds. Elsewhere in the other FA Cup third round replays, not going so well for Championship Norwich away at Bristol Rovers. They are a goal down at half time, and in the All Premier League game up at Goodison Park, Everton leading Crystal Palace by a 1-0. This is match night. It's BBC Radio Nottingham, 23 minutes to 9.
Take a moment and relax with BBC Sounds. We've got the morning after mix, soothing music chosen by Slowdive. The sleeping forecast to help you drift off to sleep. And find your inner peace with the Mindful Mix, Fireplace Soundscapes. Search New Year, listen only on BBC Sounds.
Match night.
BBC Radio Nottingham.
So half-time here, Forest leading by 1-0, and looking round Bloomfield Road, many supporters understandably having taken the opportunity to try and get a little bit warmer in the concourse areas. So cold that even the Forest subs haven't bothered coming out onto the pitch during the half-time break. They've gone back into warm-up a little bit as well. The Blackpool subs are out on the pitch away to our right-hand side, but the Forest players taking the opportunity just to stay warm for a bit. Now then, the latest edition of our podcast, which is all about Forest, it's called Shut Up and Show More Football, available every week on BBC Sounds. We always post a link to it across the BBC Nottingham Sports social media to make sure you don't miss it. And on the latest edition, there is a feature-length interview with the Reds fullback Harry Toffolo, an in-depth chat about the betting charges he faced this summer. You may remember that related back to when he was aged between about 18 and 21. There were 375 of them in all. There were fears he might get a ban as long as 10 months, which is what it looked like being at one point. In the end, he was given a suspended ban. He was able to get his career back on track. He talks about that. He talks about his mental health from when he was a young child suffering with anxiety. So there's loads and loads in there, really interesting conversations. Some subjects he was very, very keen to talk about, and really very keen that you hear about, because he's recently been given a role as a mental health ambassador for the club.
Yeah, I'm extremely excited by the opportunity, and for the club to recognise myself as an individual that could take this forward is quite refreshing. And I've had engagements already. I've been doing bottled up blokes. I've been to Hucknall to speak to 7 to 8 blokes in a room, and it was really good. I left there really refreshed and reinvigorated by the talk I had, and it's something I'm really excited to get my teeth into, and it's something that we all struggle with every single day. It doesn't matter what any walk of life. You might be a professional footballer like myself, or you could be in a job working whatever, but it's almost like we all have our stuff going on. Everything's relative, whether you've just lost your job, whether you've lost your father, you've lost your child. Everybody's going through a difficult moment, and I think what happened with COVID as well, everyone struggled a lot, and every single day people are going through the emotions of life, and it's hitting them hard at the minute more than ever. And for myself to try and speak to people, show people that I'm willing to put my arm around them, listen to their story, see if I can help in any way, and I'm excited by the opportunity and the task. I know it's going to be a big one because there's so many people that you want to help, and I know I'm really excited.
Stephen Reid, obviously a coach here, talked a lot about mental health, and in fact left his job here at Forest to pursue talking about mental health in the world of football. Is it getting easier in the game to talk about your mental health, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think first and foremost the support's there more than ever, which is great. There's psychologists, there's people, there's private psychologist players use outside of football, which is great. And I think the more awareness of what the footballing entails now compared to what it did back then, and I'm talking 5-10 years ago. I was playing 10 years ago, so it's definitely there. And Reedy's a fantastic person for me to have at the football club because we bounce a lot of ideas off each other. He's had an unbelievable career, and he's been through what he's been through. And I remember a really good conversation I had with him. It was in Valencia and on the pre-season tour, and the stuff he was telling me, and there's a lot of similarities that we went through, and I think it's very important that you listen. You're a sponge to people. You've got to take on every bit of advice you can, and to have people like that within the football club already has to give hope to this football club that this is going to be a fantastic thing to do, and within the community there's going to get a lot of support.
Within football then, and for you personally, what are the challenges? Because you know what people will think when they hear footballers talking about mental health. They think, well, they've got the great lifestyle, they've got all that money, they're living the dream. So what are the specific challenges to a young man's mental health playing football?
I think when you're younger, so I moved out of home, for example, myself, 15, I moved out of home. You're now dealing with the pressure of having to perform, training every day, training with men. At 15, you're 15 years old, you're still a boy. You're training with men in an environment where you've got to be doing jobs, is apprenticeship, and the support isn't there. Then 10 years ago, well, 13 years, well, I feel old now. 13 years ago, the support's not there, and for me, it's important that we try and adapt, and football is adapting really well, and the pressures, for example, in modern day, you give a goal away, you miss a big chance, a striker misses a big chance. There is not a single person, a footballer that a fan's probably listening to this now, goes home and thinks, oh, I'm glad I missed that chance, or I'm glad I gave the ball away. So these are people that not just themselves are suffering, because these guys make it in any professional sport, are elite in their mind and in what they want to do. But it then affects family, because your wife, your husband, whoever gets hit by gets the fall of everything that you're going through, and then the kids, if you had a whole day planned, and it really affects your mind, and you're not present in the moment. And there was a big moment for me that happened actually, and it's something that had changed my whole mindset really, is when I was at Lincoln. I finished the game, we lost 6-0 the game, and my son must have been about 2 or 3, and he was like trying to talk, he was talking to me like dad, as kids do, and I was like, please just stop a minute, stop talking. But I'd not seen him for about 4 or 5 hours, and I was like, so I just said that in my zone of, we just lost 6-0, I'm angry. And then one of the players, Michael Boswick, I'll say his name because I owe him a lot, because he came to me, he called me over, he was like, come and have a chat. He went, don't ever do that again. And I'm thinking, what's he talking about, saying what I can do to my son? Don't ever do that again. He said, it's not your son's fault you lost 6-0. And that was, for me, was a penny drops. And I went, you know what, I'm never ever going to take work home ever again. And the minute I leave the gates, I'm dad. So I'll do a school run, pick the kids up, and do all those amazing stuff that parents have the joy of doing. Whether I've lost 4-0, whether we won 4-0, it's even. Like, I'm not suddenly going to say, let's go to the toy shop because we won 4-0. It's very much, no, we live a nice life, you just keep a steady life. And that moment there for me was like, do you know what? I love that. I love that mindset of having, don't take stuff out on other people. You just have to kind of get through it. You speak about it, you talk about it. And that's what now within football, there's a lot of people you can talk to, and there's a lot of people outside of football you can talk to, and it's really refreshing, to be honest.
Harry Toffolo, who is out on the pitch at the moment, warming up as one of the Forest subs this evening. They did come out eventually. They're very warmly wrapped up out there as well, the Forest subs, as they go through a few warm-ups, ready for the second half of, well, largely sitting down and watching. Forest leading by a 1-0. That goal scored in the first half. A neat touch at the back post from Andrew Omobamidele after Ryan Yates flick on from a right wing corner. They've not been overly successful from set pieces in the past few years of Forest, but a neat one this time has given them the only goal of the game so far at Bloomfield Road. So that podcast, the bit of the podcast anyway that you were just listening to with Harry Toffolo, still available on BBC Sounds and on other places where you get podcasts as well, but you can find it on BBC Sounds. Just search for Shut Up and Show More Football. There'll be another one out for you in the next couple of days, in which Colin Fray and I, no doubt, are going to talk a bit more about financial fair play and the profitability, sustainability rules that affect Premier League clubs and have affected Forest, of course, with who knows what punishment may be coming their way after being charged with breaking those rules in the Premier League. It's Match Night on BBC Radio Nottingham. Forest leading here by 1-0. Second half not too far away. It's 14 minutes to 9.
On BBC iPlayer. Saturday night's toughest contest is back.
This is a proper contest.
I loved it.
These guys are powerful. What an effort that was.
Brand new gladiators. Watch on BBC iPlayer.
Match night.
BBC Radio Nottingham.
David Jackson here on Match Night from BBC Radio Nottingham, looking right across the halfway line so we can see down the tunnel on the far side, and just underneath the Blackpool badge and the word The Seaside, as you can see the Forest and Blackpool players lined up ready to come out. And here come the Forest players first of all, led by the captain Ryan Yates, and the big cheer from the Forest fans away to our left. So here we go for the second half then on the home of live Nottinghamshire Sport. Match Night on BBC Radio Nottingham in the FA Cup third round replay. Forest a goal up. Let's see what the second half has in store with Steve Hodge. And first, once he's got his layers back on, his gloves back on, his cup of tea, he's now settled, Colin Fray.
Bought you one as well, though.
You did, very kind.
Did well, didn't I? Forest are just going through their warming up exercises for the start of the second half, and I'm not surprised. Starting to get a bit chillier as we get deeper into the night. Forest leading though by 1-0 at half time, and it is going to be Blackpool who are going to get us underway, but not before Ryan Yates has called his players in for a huddle, which Callum Hudson-Odoi is late joining. He's just arriving now onto the pitch, and they're all rubbing each other's backs in the huddle to warm themselves up ahead of the start of the second half. I think Danilo is feeling the cold a little bit. Rio, this ain't. It's by the sea, and that's about the only thing it's got in common.
Well, Chris Wood was in Dubai about 5 days ago, so bit of a change.
Darren Bond, the referee, gets us underway in the second half. No changes in the second half, so the teams are as they were from the start of the first half, as the ball is headed forward by Omobamidele, the Forest goal scorer in the first half. Yates tucks this back to Murillo, and Murillo stabs it away to the halfway line. Connolly wins the header, but Murillo gets to the ball first, and now Hudson-Odoi tucks the ball back for Nuno, who clips it up towards halfway. But again, Chris Wood no real chance of getting to the ball, and Albie Morgan was always going to be favourite to get to it. And here's Ekpiteta on the edge of his own penalty area. Oh, it's given away, is it? Yes, into the penalty area. Dominguez goes down, the ball breaks for Danilo, and Danilo fires it in. Dominguez was absolutely clattered by the goalkeeper Grimshaw, who came out to try and stop it. Referee waved play on, and Danilo ran onto it and fired it low into the court, into the Blackpool net to give Forest a 2-0 lead in the first minute of the second half. It was a horrible moment, I think, for Albie Morgan, who rolled the ball back across the edge of his own penalty area. Dominguez onto it in a flash, and he was absolutely wiped out by Grimshaw. But rather than give the penalty, referee Darren Bond saw the ball running towards Danilo, and Danilo tucked it in, and Forest are 2-0 ahead. Dominguez has now got back up after that challenge. Grimshaw is still down, the Blackpool goalkeeper, but Forest are 2-0 ahead early in the second half.
Yeah, and we mentioned it through the game really, that the back pass to that goal in particular was actually probably a little bit of trouble. The back pass there was played blind, I think, by a midfield play back to his keeper, and straight away you could see the angle of the ball. We were right behind the angle of the ball, and it wasn't going to get to the keeper, and Dominguez straight away could sense that, sprinted towards the keeper, and the keeper came sprinting out, realising that he might not get there either, but they actually got to the ball probably together, or he just got there first. The ball was pushed out towards the D, keeper went into a huddle on the floor, he was flat out, and then there was Danilo, edge of the box, onto it like a flash, left footed, took 1 or 2 touches, and then smashed it low towards the goal. I think the guy on the line actually got a foot on the ball, but the ball bobbled past him into the back of the net, and Danilo scores the second goal. And what a good start to the second half. But on the Bobby pitch, playing the ball blind back to your keeper like that, you're asking for trouble, and they got it.
Grimshaw is still down and is only now getting back to his feet, and it looks as if he's going to be, well, I'm not sure he's going to be okay to continue. He's limping pretty heavily, and physio staff are now leaving him, and it looks like he is going to be all right to continue, but he certainly hurt himself, Dan Grimshaw.
I mean, he's left high and dry by the back pass. He just had to come out and try and commit himself and try and get there first. And today he did get there first, but the ball fell kindly for Danilo, and he didn't, he had a chance and he took it.
As we get back underway again, Blackpool come forward straight away with the ball down the left-hand side, but Danilo gets across ahead of Lyons to turn it away. And I haven't given you the team even at the start of the second half. I'll do that as soon as I get a minute. But with Forest taking that lead, that 2-0 lead early in the second half, perfect start to the second half really, just takes away a little bit of pressure that obviously at 1-0, you mentioned it, Steve, at half time at 1-0 it's never done. It's not done at 2-0, but it's a useful start to the second half for sure, as the ball is just inside the Forest half by 10-12 yards or so, and the referee's just going to have a drop ball because he got in the way, and Blackpool work it back towards halfway. 4 minutes played then in the second half as Ekpiteta falls over as he tries to clear, and Forest get a throw on the far side just in front of the tunnel, so just inside the Blackpool half. Williams into Danilo's feet. Danilo's first goal of the season, as Connolly clears under pressure from Wood. He's not got much on that, and Hudson-Odoi collects on halfway, but Mangala now tucks it back into his own half, and Murillo sends it all the way back to Odysseus. Odysseus chips one out to the left-hand side for Nuno. Nuno, little ball infield to Yates, gives it back to Nuno. He's a bit tight and crowded near this left-hand touchline, but Forest have done well through Hudson-Odoi and now Murillo, and Murillo forward into Wood's feet. Wood controls and then is brought down by Ekpiteta, and that was calm football from Forest in a tight spot, and it's ended up with a free kick for them. 5 minutes into the second half, taken by Yates across to the right hand side, helped on towards Dominguez. Dominguez now cutting infield, ball into Wood's feet, lays it off for Yates. Yates rolls it out to the left hand side. This is Hudson-Odoi, orthodox wide left position, running into the penalty area, lays it off for Yates. Yates onto his left foot and scuffs a shot towards goal, and it's comfortable for Grimshaw, the goalkeeper, and the Forest fans can stay dry and warm. They won't have to go in the sea because Yatesy didn't score. 6 gone in the second half. Forest 2-0 in front in the FA Cup third round replay. Hamilton for Blackpool, lays it off for Jordan Gabriel, lofts one over the top. Odysseus going to have to come out of his penalty area to volley, and does. Wood running back from an offside position leaves the ball alone, and now puts Lyons under pressure. Lyons though has run away from him. Wood gets back and wins it and gives it to Nico Williams, who rolls it infield halfway inside his own half. Yates gives it back to Murillo. Now on with Bamidele, back to his goalkeeper Odysseus. Moves it out to the left hand side. It's given away though by Nuno, straight to Norburn, 25 yards out. Gives it to CJ Hamilton, right wing. Yates getting back, gets the challenge in on Hamilton, and ball breaks for Nuno. He's near his own byline, turns it back for Murillo. Little chip from Murillo.
He won't panic.
That's a lovely ball to Yates. He's been brilliant tonight, Murillo. Can he do it on a cold Wednesday night in Blackpool? So far, yes. Here's Odysseus. Clears long. Ekpiteta has headed this backwards, and Wood controls on halfway. Lays it off. And now Dominguez for Mangala. Mangala to the left of the centre circle. Tucks it infield to Omar Bamidele. And he gives it to Dominguez, who's wide right. Now Mangala, Yates calling for it left hand side. Mangala though for Danilo, first time ball to Dominguez. Dominguez into Wood's feet, he's back to goal, and Wood looking for a yard of space on the edge of the box, hits the shot which is deflected, spins away towards the left wing where it's collected by Callum Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi into the feet of Wood just inside the box, comes back to Hudson-Odoi running along the edge of the penalty area and lays it off for Omar Bamidele back into the middle of the Blackpool half. Now Murillo down the left hand side for Yates. Yates back infield to Hudson-Odoi, moves it quickly to Nuno, gives it to Yates. Yates wide left, back infield to Nuno. Good possession from Forest. Blackpool look as if they're trying to get a little bit of a breather at the moment. Nuno helps it on towards Yates. CJ Hamilton intercepts, but Forest win it back again with Murillo and Nuno combining. Nuno drives forward through the middle of the Blackpool half, lays it off for Danilo. Danilo turns it to his right for Nico Williams. Williams under pressure from Lyons, midway inside Blackpool territory, holds on to it, feeds it infield for Murillo. He and Dominguez almost getting each other's way. Dominguez takes possession and sends it back to Omar Bamidele, who turns away from Sonny Carey and gives it to Murillo. And Murillo pings a ball out towards the right wing. It doesn't quite reach Dominguez, but it might do this time as it's intercepted by Williams. Dominguez across the Blackpool half for Callum Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi challenged by Gabriel. Ball though breaks for Mangala. Hudson-Odoi is down. Danilo turns it to his right for Dominguez. Dominguez wide right. He's thinking about putting the ball out of play. He's waiting for his teammates to tell him what to do. Nico Williams in the end does put it out of play and is clattered into by Sonny Carey as he's doing so. And now Hudson-Odoi can get a little bit of treatment, which he's going to need from the physios. Williams is getting back up to his feet. That was good possession from Forest, and they're just taking the sting out of the game. 2-0 up, got a goal second half, and now they're bossing it.
Yeah, they've had 2 or 3 minutes there of keeping the ball and showing their skills and their technique under pressure in tight little situations where they got out of them with a change of pace or a little bit of a trick, and the composure on the ball. Like you say, 2-0 up now, you can just see that they're happy with the situation. Apart from obviously Hudson-Odoi, who's gone down injured there from what I thought actually was a really good strong challenge from Jordan Gabriel. Lent him, got his right foot across Hudson-Odoi. He was trying to protect the football, and in doing that he actually played the ball away firmly, did the defender. But unfortunately from Hudson-Odoi's point of view, the force of the injury or the force of the tackle sent him over onto his ankle, and that's why he stayed down. He's now been consoled a bit by Jordan Gabriel, apologising for the tackle, but nothing to apologise to really. It was a good challenge, a fair challenge, and just unfortunate the way he fell, Hudson-Odoi. Let's just hope it's not one of those winger ankles that he's had problems with over the years, possibly, because a lot of wingers obviously get tackled around their ankles, and that can be an issue.
Well, that's what Nuno over in the technical area is going to be concerned about. He's lost Morgan Gibbs-White this week in training. That's to add to the 4 that are already out injured. And that's to add to the 6 that are away at AFCON. And what he doesn't want to pick up tonight are any more injuries ahead of Brentford on Saturday. Hudson-Odoi is up, and he is limping as he's being led off the field towards the far side. That might suggest they're going to change. I'm not sure. No, he's jogging now. Just wondered with him going across on that side, because he was closer, I think, to this near touchline. But body language would suggest he's probably going to carry on. They haven't got a substitute ready. Now we've got the Blackpool physio staff coming back on, because at the end of that injury, rather than doing it at the same time, Dan Grimshaw has decided he needs to go down again. So just as the Forest physio staff had cleared the pitch and Callum Hudson-Odoi was off the field, so down went Grimshaw. And you just wonder if that collision with Dominguez, which led to the goal, is going to lead also to Dan Grimshaw having to go off and be replaced by Richard O'Donnell, who is the very experienced reserve goalkeeper, 35 years of age, formerly of Rochdale, Sheffield Wednesday, Walsall, Bradford.
Looking at their bench now, looking for some movement from the goalkeeper area. Can't see a goalkeeper anywhere who's 6'5" being warmed up, or actually he is just taking it off now.
Back row of the dugout, because Grimshaw is done. He's being led out of goal now, 12 minutes into the second half. So Richard O'Donnell is going to come on to replace the injured goalkeeper. And Hudson-Odoi is going to carry on, isn't he, by the looks of it? He's ready to re-enter the field when he can. He's obviously going to have to wait for 30 seconds after the resumption.
Yeah, nice touch there from Dominguez, actually on the way off the keeper. Young keeper's went across to him and took his hand, and we'll see them in the collision together, so nice touch from the Argentinian.
On comes O'Donnell. And Forest are 2-0 ahead here with a lengthy stoppage in play. The injury to Hudson-Odoi and then Grimshaw going down. And we're going to start again with a free kick on the far side, because Nico Williams was fouled by Carey when he was trying to kick the ball out of play. Dominguez takes into the penalty area and it's just flicked away from Chris Wood. It is going to be a corner. One or two of the Forest players were running back as if it was going to be a goal kick, but Chris Wood knew. The defender got up, just nicked it away from the New Zealander, and out for a Forest corner. And Nuno goes across to take from the left-hand side. Nuno to take. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inside the penalty area, most of those around the penalty spot and jostling for position. Only Danilo on the edge of the 6-yard box. Test this for the new goalkeeper. In it comes, and it's headed away from the 6-yard box by Ekpiteta. Brought down by Albie Morgan, who then lofts it onto the fascia of this stand we're sitting in, and it'll be a throw for Forest, which is 15 yards or so inside the Blackpool half, taken by Nuno to Yates. Yates rolls it back across halfway for Murillo, and Murillo turns it all the way back to Odysseus. Elsewhere in the cup tonight, Everton still leading Crystal Palace by a 1-0. Goal scored in the first half by Gomez. And Norwich, who were 1-0 down to Bristol Rovers at the Memorial Stadium tonight, have now scored twice in 5 minutes in the second half. So Norwich are leading by 2-1. The second goal has just gone in. Blackpool have it here down their left wing, far side of the field, as they play left to right in this second half. Albie Morgan turns it further down the left wing. Across goes Rhodes to keep the ball alive for Blackpool, but in laying it backwards, he's laid it straight to Dominguez, who finds Omar Bamidele, who plays it in the middle of his penalty area to Murillo, who clears to Danilo. Now Yates having to withstand the challenge on the edge of the box. Bit of a miss kick from Murillo, and suddenly Forest look ragged at the back. Here's CJ Hamilton, right wing, turns over the cross, flicked by Mangala, and then headed away to the edge of the box for Albie Morgan to drive it into the top corner. Forest were all over the place at the back, inexplicably so. They've had so much control over this second half for the first 15 minutes of it, but when the ball came in, Mangala flicked it near post. It was a diving header away from Nico Williams' back post, and it fell straight to Albie Morgan, who stuck it in the top corner from the edge of the penalty area and got Blackpool back in the tie Blackpool 1, Forest 2, 16 minutes into the second half. Forest come forward again down the left-hand side as they try and re-establish their 2-goal lead with Hudson-Odoi. Rolls it infield to Wood, gives it back to Hudson-Odoi, but that's misplaced and Blackpool get it clear. Game on, Steve Hodge.
Yeah, the brilliant finish from Morgan into the box, but the ball initially from Balotelli to Murillo was a dodgy ball across the face of the penalty area. Murillo sliced the ball, poor clearance, and from then onwards we were in a little bit of trouble, but the ball in the box was a poor header away. Just a catalogue really of errors when the ball could have been cleared 2 or 3 times by Murillo, by Mangala as well. The ball bobbled around to the edge of the box, but after that, what a strike from Morgan, who's proved last 2 games against Forest that he can finish, and that was a tremendous right-footed shot from the D, top left-hand corner. I think Adidius got a little bit of a hand on the ball maybe, but yeah, game on again now.
Scored in between against Exeter as well, good goal at the weekend. I mentioned him in the first half, how influential he was becoming in the game. It was a great finish, but he really should not have been in a position to be able to try and finish into the top corner, because Forest had so many opportunities to deal with that defensively. It's just come from nowhere.
And you can hear the crowd now.
Now you can understand it, because Blackpool suddenly got their tails up and the crowd's behind them and everything. The Forest break away with Mangala to Danilo. There was no sign of it beforehand. Here's Dominguez down the right-hand side. Switching play, great ball from right to left for Hudson-Odoi into the penalty area. Callum Hudson-Odoi shoots, it's blocked by Callum Connolly. Looked a bit half-hearted from Callum Hudson-Odoi. I wonder if he's still troubled potentially by the knock he took a few minutes ago.
He's holding his jaw in a little bit, but yeah, you're right, there was conviction, and there's not a bit in that shot.
Blackpool 1, Forest 2. The goal for Blackpool has certainly brought both sets of fans into the game. Here's Nico Williams, right hand side, a few yards inside the Blackpool half, tight to that right touchline, has to go backwards, and now rolls it infield to Omar Bamidele, and he squares it to Murillo, keeps coming leftwards for Nuno. Is it back to Murillo, now Yates. Back to Murillo again, and Murillo turns it back to his goalkeeper Odysseus, all in royal blue away to our right, as opposed to the navy blue of Forest third kit. Ekpiteta heads away from Wood. And Calby Morgan will be feeling a little bit better about the back pass that led to Forest's second goal, having smashed one in the top corner to get Blackpool back in the tie, after he also scored at the City Ground. Here's the other City Ground goal scorer, Jordan Gabriel, to CJ Hamilton, right wing. Hamilton tucks it back now for Connolly. Connolly with a high ball, which is headed at the back post, away wide towards Blackpool's left wing. Carey for Morgan, and now turned down the left-hand side. Husband well forward, hits the byline, rolls it into the side netting via a deflection. Omar Bamidele, I think it was, that got a touch, and it's away for a Blackpool corner.
Proper game on now. They can sense a little bit of joy, obviously, from the first goal, and it's their energy levels gone through the roof at the moment. They've a corner far side.
Nearly 20 minutes played in the second half. It was pretty comfortable for Forest, now it isn't. In comes the corner, Odysseus punches it away. Sonny Carey controls on the edge of the box, blocked by Dominguez. That'll sting on a night like tonight. And it goes away for a throw to Blackpool down their right hand side, 30 yards out or so. It's left by Carey, and Jordan Gabriel comes across to take. Blackpool 1, Forest 2. Game on in the FA Cup third round replay. Gabriel into the penalty area, headed on by Rhodes, free header, and then cleared by Omar Bamidele from his 6-yard box. Chris Wood turns nicely and gets away from one, and now he's one-on-one against Ekpiteta. Wood from halfway is running to the edge of the penalty area. Now can he roll it to his right? He can. For Dominguez on the edge of the box. Blackpool get men back, fed back to Williams. Williams shot, saved, comes out for Hudson-Odoi, twists one way then the other, drives it into the penalty area. They're appealing for something, nothing given, and Blackpool get the ball away, and then Mangala brings down Jordan Rhodes, and it'll be a free kick for Blackpool, which they've taken quickly, but too quickly, for the referee's liking, and it'll be a free kick for Blackpool after a breathless couple of minutes of football.
A breathless run there from Chris Wood, around about 40 yards, kept the ball in play really against the odds, and then got to the edge of the box, popped it off to Dominguez on his right. Ball laid back for Nico Williams, shot on target, rebound from the keeper, and up to the door again. Thought he might shoot with his left foot, back onto his right foot. And a poor right-footed shot from eventually from Callum Hudson-Odoi there, but yeah, mad minute it really was.
Headed on by Rhodes, headed away by Williams for Forest. Rhodes picks it up again, stabs it down the left-hand side. This is Lyons well forward. Lyons fires over the cross in towards the near post, headed away by Murillo, and then Danilo whips it away from Albie Morgan. And O'Donnell, the substitute goalkeeper, outside his penalty area to field it and clear it. Only as far as Danilo, who heads back across halfway. Nodded back for the Seasiders, and Danilo wins it again, and this time he runs across halfway into the feet of Wood, who lays it off now for Mangala, to his left for Yates. Yates bundled into by CJ Hamilton, and that'll be a free kick for Forest, which is about 12 yards or so inside the Blackpool half. Just slightly forward and to the left of the centre circle. Yates just needs a couple of seconds to get his breath back, and we're halfway through the second half. Cup ties come to life if Forest thought they were just going to get away with seeing out a comfortable 2-0 win, maybe get another goal and ease home. Anything but. That mad spell of defending for 30 seconds or so in the build-up to the goal means that Blackpool are back in it at 2-1 Forest. Free kick though, which is going to be taken by Dominguez. 12 yards, no, it's left by Dominguez for Nuno to swing it towards the back edge of the penalty area. It goes long and Murillo retrieves in a right wing position, rolls it back for Dominguez, edge of the penalty area, shoots, deflected, goes just wide with the goalkeeper going completely the wrong way off Dominguez's shot, and it's out for a corner off the defender's block. But O'Donnell was completely helpless, and if that had spun inside his post, he could have done nothing about it. Corner Forest, Dominguez to take from the right hand side. Forest leading 2-1, 23 and a half second half minutes played. Dominguez, right footed to the near post, it's headed away but only as far as Williams. Now sent back into the penalty area by Danilo, but Blackpool can break. This is Albie Morgan leading the charge. Morgan feeds it through down the inside left channel for Sonny Carey, who tries to send it across the edge of the penalty area. Danilo blocks and Danilo clears.
Good break from Blackpool, that pacey, but Danilo got back brilliantly there to stem the flow, the tide at the moment. The ball's coming in the box again though now.
And it comes from the left-hand side in towards the near post. Blocked. There are two balls on the pitch at the moment. Nico Williams clears the right one away, and it's nodded down by Dominguez to Danilo. Gives it back to Dominguez. Good ball. Dominguez, though, a bit isolated on halfway, wide right. Challenged by Ekpiteta, and Forest going to throw. And now we'll try, you'd imagine, just to slow things down a bit. Leading 2-1. 25 almost gone in the second half here at Bloomfield Road. You're listening to Match Night on BBC Radio Nottingham. As Forest look for a fourth round tie, which comes up on the 26th of January, so only a week on Friday.
Yeah, on the far side now, just looking at Toffolo, I think it's Scott McKenna getting warmed up, which you'd imagine looking at Nuno's first game tonight, and also
triple change for Blackpool.
Yeah, Bamidele, it's his first game tonight as well. Maybe might not play the full 90. Or Murillo, do you risk Murillo any longer than 70 minutes? I imagine at some point Toffolo or McKenna will be on the pitch.
So CJ Hamilton is replaced by Dembele. And Jordan Rhodes has gone off. Kyle Joseph has come on up front. And Sonny Carey.
Shane
Lavery comes on to replace him. He's been struggling with injury. He wasn't involved in the first game. But Lavery, the Northern Ireland player, Northern Irishman, on the field now. That's the front three for Blackpool basically has been changed. And here is Lavery involved straight away in trying to find Joseph. Across gets Omobamidele and turns it out into touch. Well, the Blackpool fans are right in this game now because they can sense that their side can still get something out of this. Very much so. Forest coming from 2-0 down at the City Ground to get back to 2-2. Blackpool 2-0 down here tonight at Bloomfield Road, and as Kyle Joseph tries to wriggle down the byline, he wins a corner.
Yeah, this is the kind when you need to be strong. Obviously, as the away team, the fancy team, you can feel you're up against it at the moment.
Morgan across to take the corner for Blackpool. From there, left wing, right-footed, in-swinging right into the 6-yard box, and Callum Connolly with a glancing header goes wide. He was marshalled by Yates, but he looked favourite to get it, Connolly, and he's looking skywards as he runs back towards halfway. I think he realises that was a decent chance, but he couldn't get enough on it. And it's a goal kick to Forest. As the Blackpool fans continue to bounce up and down behind that goal. Away to our right, which is being defended by Odysseus in this second half. With the Reds leading by 2-1, but at the moment it's Blackpool who look potentially more likely, although Forest continue to cause a threat when they do come forward. And it's sent forward long down the left-hand side for Andy Lyons, but he won't keep that ball in play as it drops over his shoulder. It just slices out of play, and it'll be a throw for Forest, which is about 15 yards up from their own corner flag. 17 to go. Forest 2-1 up, but withstanding a little bit of a barrage at the moment from Blackpool. Danilo plays that rather loosely into the middle of his own half, and Dembele gets to it quicker than Nuno. Dembele on the edge of the penalty area now, faced by Yates as well, and runs out of control of the ball, and it's very good covering from Yates after Nuno was out of position, having given the ball away. Beg his pardon, it was Danilo who gave the ball away. Nuno tried to retrieve it, but Dembele nicked it away from him, and good covering from Yates.
It was very good covering, and he just one or two silly mistakes come in under the pressure now of Blackburn and the noise and just the pressure you're under when you're away from home like that. The Forest players have got to get through this bad spell, but it's going to be a long 15 minutes now.
Yep, they could do with another goal, and here's Hudson-Odoi trying to loft it forward towards Dominguez. Dominguez now gets it to Danilo on the edge of the penalty area, but he's crowded out, comes back out for Mangala. Now Yates, 30 yards out, stabs it to his left. This is Hudson-Odoi taking on Jordan Gabriel, onto his right foot, checks out, gives it to Nuno. Nuno stabs it down the inside left channel for Yates. Heavy touch from Yates. And then it goes through to the goalkeeper, Richard O'Donnell. Forest 1-0 ahead in the first half. Andrew Omobamidele's volleyed finish at the back post after a flick on from Yates from Dominguez's corner. Forest 2 up early in the second half. Bad back pass from Morgan. Dominguez onto it, brought down by the goalkeeper. Ball ran loose to Danilo, who took a couple of touches and fired it home. 2-0 Forest at that point, but Albie Morgan smashing one into the top corner, top left corner, just after the hour mark, as Blackpool right back in the match with 15 minutes to go plus added time. There'll be plenty of that. Don't forget that very long stoppage for the injury to Callum Hudson-Odoi, who recovered, and then to Grimshaw, who didn't, and is off the field, the Blackpool goalkeeper, replaced by O'Donnell. Forest throw down the line, right wing, cleared by Ekpiteta. That's going out for another Reds throw. Williams forward to take. 20 yards or so inside the Blackpool half, right hand side. Williams throws in towards Danilo, stabbed away from him by Morgan, comes back to Williams. He's put under pressure by Kyle Joseph, he wins another throw. does the Welshman. And Williams throws down the line. Comfortably headed away. Mangala brings it down. Williams gives it back to Mangala. Mangala running away from a couple of challenges, and then Dominguez lays it off for Nuno. Nuno to the left-hand side for Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi with Yates making the run outside him. Hudson-Odoi surrounded by Tangerine shirts, but he's found Chris Wood, who drags it across the 6-yard box and cleared. Not very far. Dembele loses out to Hudson-Odoi, who links up with Yates. Back to Hudson-Odoi. Yates now battling near the byline, and the referee says it'll be a free kick for Blackpool in their right back position, just inside the touchline. 13 and a bit to go in the FA Cup third round replay. No changes in the other replays tonight. Bristol Rovers 1, Norwich 2, Everton 1, Palace 0. So all three games remaining tight as we go into the closing stages of normal time. Remember, we would, if it finished level, have extra time, which is exactly what Forest do not want with a Premier League game coming up in a couple of days' time. At Brentford, who had that last night and lost to Wolves in the end. Nuno takes a throw from halfway inside his own half. Yates digs it forward, headed away by Connolly and collected by Lavery, who just nipped in front of Omar Bamidele, lays it off to his left. Omar Bamidele recovers to head the ball away from Lyons and out into touch for a Blackpool throw, taken quickly down the line towards Andy Lyons, who hits the byline and drags it across back post, headed in from about 6 inches out by Kyle Joseph. The substitute scores. Blackpool are level. It's 2-2. Flag stayed down. 1 or 2 Forest questions about whether the ball was out of play as Lyons broke down the left-hand side, but he's hoisted it high across the penalty area, basically across the goal line, and from just outside the goal, Kyle Joseph, with the faintest of touches with his head, nods Blackpool level. 2-2, and you'd be hard pushed to say the home side don't deserve that for the way they played over the last 15 minutes or so. 2-2 in the replay.
Yeah, I mean, it's come from a quick throw in. Everyone switches off. I think it's going to be a long throw in, and it's taken quickly down the left hand side. Andy Lyon gets ahead of his marker, takes a touch, and I thought he might run it out of play, but obviously he's bang on the touchline. It's a lovely clip to the back stick. I've just seen Kyle Joseph come on. He's 6'1", 6'2", at the back stick, and I think he towers over Murillo, I think it was eventually, and heads the ball from basically 4 yards out down into the back of the net. And you're right, Colin, they deserve it on the balance of the play in the last 20 minutes.
That's hammered away by Connolly, and so we're back to where we were. The first game finished 2-2, with the away side going 2-0 up and the home side coming back. It's exactly what's happened tonight. 2 apiece, Forest 2-0 ahead, and Blackpool have roared back at them. And now Forest have got to go and win it again if they can. Dominguez foul, free kick Forest, 30 yards out, just to the left of centre. And Forest, as I mentioned, will really not want extra time, but neither will they want to go out of the competition, especially having been 2-0 up with an hour played against League One opposition. Not covered themselves in glory since that moment. 10 minutes remaining. Dominguez though with a free kick, or Nuno, one of the two. Wall is stood a good few yards outside the penalty area, so there's good distance on the free kick. It is Nuno who takes it, left-footed. He's got a lot on that. Can Murillo keep it in play at the back post? No, he can't. Has to hurdle the advert boards and the metal fence around that's just behind the advert boards. All in vain, because it was overhit by Nuno. And it's a goal kick for Blackpool and for Richard O'Donnell. Big effort from here, Steve.
Changes to Forest, you'd have to imagine there'll be changes at some point. I mean, he might say, let's get through the next 10 minutes, but at the moment, you know, you could see Blackpool causing us more trouble.
Well, the thing is with with all due respect to those that are on the bench, they don't appear to have game changers. Here's Williams crossing, looking for Danilo, but he gets his angles wrong and it's easy for O'Donnell. More on that in a second, because Blackpool are looking to break. This is Dembele. He shoves it too far ahead though of Norburn, and it's out for a Forest throw. There's a bench full of young lads who of course will have a go and will want to make an impression, and defenders. But here come Forest with those on the pitch. This is Yates, 30 yards out, shoots, blocked, and now Blackpool might break from that. Kyle Joseph powering forward down the left wing. Mangala back with him to try and hold him up. Yates gets back to him now as well. But he rolls it infield to Albie Morgan, who pings a lovely ball down the left-hand side for Lions again, and this time Williams gets back and makes the challenge, but Blackpool will still have a corner. Yeah,
that's what I mean, basically. It's that energy, and you can just see their three subs to come on and they change the energy levels of their team. And now at 11 are flagging a little bit now, and it's clear to see.
Morgan across to take the corner. There is no activity that we can see on the far side. Albie Morgan fires it in low in towards the near post. It goes right through the 6-yard box, and he's going to come out for Marvin Ekpiteta to play as a right winger to try and keep the ball alive for Blackpool. He's battling with Nuno near the corner flag. He wins that battle, and then it's lofted forward to him again by Norburn over his head and out of play for a goal kick. 2-2, and if we're honest, it's all Blackpool.
I've been in these games before where suddenly from nowhere you don't know what's happening, people are around, you don't know what's happening, you're looking for some support and some guidance somewhere, but at the moment, for me it's about energy, and we look tired and look lethargic at the moment, and they having all the energy and all the momentum going towards our goal. Good tackle, it's a good tackle.
Ekpiteta beats Wood. Dembele forward towards Gabriel. Gabriel has nutmegged Murillo. Murillo gets back to him, and he goes down in the penalty area. They're still battling. Now it'll break for Dembele, who crosses low into the 6-yard box and smuggled away, and then smashed away by Danilo.
Got away with that unbelievably.
He's just nutmegged Murillo and got into the penalty area. What is happening here? What has gone on over the last half an hour of this game?
I mean, it wasn't a penalty, I didn't think the referee got that one right, but after that the cross from Dembele was a good cross, and we just got lucky in the 6-yard box. The ball bounced all over the shop, and eventually it bounced to one of us, but could easily bounce to an orange shirt and a tap-in.
I think away on the far side I've just seen Brandon Aguilera called. Now he's one of those youngsters that will want an opportunity, and looks like he might get it. Omar Bamidele is under pressure from 2 and has to turn it away for a corner, because his way back to Odysseus was cut off. And another corner for Blackpool. Hudson-Odoi's gone down. He's sat down off the ball, so maybe he's feeling the effects of the knock he took earlier on. He's getting booed because of the way he's sat down off the ball. Aguilera's ready. There's another Forest sub right over on the far side as well, and amongst the crowd of fourth official, assistant referee. Nuno is in there as well, and said player is kind of hidden from my view just at the moment. Hudson-Odoi is down on the floor and I think wanting treatment, but that decision's been taken out of his hands, because it is going to be Brandon Aguilera to come on to replace Hudson-Odoi. And Harry Toffolo is the other, and he's going to replace Nuno as a straight swap at left back. And we're down to the last 5 minutes plus added time, of which there will be plenty. Then we might have extra time. Hudson-Odoi and Nuno are being allowed plenty of time to leave the field. I mean, Hudson-Odoi's injured, so you can see why that's the case, and now Nuno has jogged off to join him. Double change, defending a corner. Doesn't happen too often. Morgan to take the corner from the left wing, right-footed, in towards the near post, and knocked away by Toffolo. after being met by a crowd of bodies on the edge of the 6-yard box. It's good delivery again from Morgan, who now takes this throw quickly down the line. Nodded down by Lyons, but cleared by Yates. Now can Forest break? No, not immediately anyway. Now Yates will try again to find Dominguez. Dominguez across halfway. Now they are breaking Forest. Dominguez tries to lay it through to Chris Wood. It's intercepted, but it goes out all the way for a corner. And it was Blackpool's turn just to look a little bit laboured. I think it was Husband who slid in and got the block.
Yeah, they just rushed their throw in a little bit on our side of the pitch, and the ball bobbled around, and after that kind of like bit of control they've had for the last 20 minutes really, they lost the shape a little bit, and we broke away corner far side with Dominguez again. He was trying, you'd imagine, hit that near post again.
Again, crowd of bodies around the penalty spot. 2-2 the score. Dominguez with the corner, and it comes out to the edge of the box to Mangala. Mangala lays it off for Aguilera. Aguilera with the cross. Oh, the flag's gone up for offside against the 20-year-old Costa Rican. And we'll have 3 minutes of normal time left. 8,098 is the crowd. A couple of thousand Forest supporters away to our left, and O'Donnell to take the free kick from left to right. Aguilera underneath it, but Gabriel gets up and heads on. Murillo clears towards Wood. He and Ekpiteta do battle. Ball breaks for Morgan. Morgan hoists this high forward towards Joseph. Murillo underneath it, controls it, leaves it for Omar Bamidele. He gives it to Williams. Williams moves it forward early, but not accurately enough, and Blackpool come forward quickly again with Kyle Joseph. That's well won though by Williams. Good tackle, gets up with the ball, gives it to Yates. Yates for Dominguez, he's fouled. And he's calling for the card to be brandished, and that's going to earn him a card. At least I think. Did he get the card for asking for the card, or was the card given for the challenge?
Yeah.
But for the challenge, or for Dominguez asking for the card?
I think it was the challenge.
Because the referee just brandished it at two players stood next to each other 20 yards away from the referee.
Yeah, it's a good point, Colin.
I have no idea who's
football,
got
you never know, yeah.
And a free kick for Forest. I do know it's that. Tight to the far touchline and halfway inside Forest's own half. Norwich now 3-1 up at Bristol Rovers. 2-2 here. And we're coming up to the 90th minute. Sent forward towards Wood, who chests it down nicely for Danilo. Tries to send it forward to Aguilera. Cleared into midfield. Murillo Murillo is adjudged to a foul, Lavery. It looked one of the harsher ones. And Danilo didn't retreat 10 yards, and Danilo is into the no-ball.
He can't complain at all. But you just see Blackpool, they're just launching the ball into the far left-hand corner or right-hand corner over the back of the centre halves, and letting the front three just chase it and hoping for a bubble here or the ball running their way. But it's just a bit launch football, but it's working in the second half for them.
Blackpool fans bouncing again up and down behind the goal away to our right. And their side has come from 2-0 down here against their Premier League opponents to level things at 2-2. And we're in the final few seconds of the 90. There'll be plenty of added time. And if nothing changes in added time, we're headed for extra time. Thrown forward for Blackpool towards the left-hand side of the Forest penalty area. Forest win it though. Dominguez forward. 10 minutes. I told you there'd be lots. I didn't think there'd be that much. But there are 10 minutes of added time here. Could still be playing at midnight if this goes to extra time and penalties. But Forest have got 10 minutes to try and get the job done. I mean, to be fair, they've had 180 minutes before that to try and get the job done and haven't managed to do so. Here's Omar Bamidele, turning it to the right-hand side for Williams. Poor touch from Williams and he's dispossessed. And forward comes Lyons into the penalty area, squares it back, and Mangala gets a foot in. And the ball rolls off that foot, back to Odysseus, who rolls it out quickly to Toffolo. Toffolo the substitute, forward across halfway. Still going is Harry Toffolo. Now rolls it infield to Danilo. Gives it back to Toffolo. 20 yards out. Now for Aguilera. Aguilera from the left-hand side, crossing. Ekpiteta heads it away, and it'll run away for a throw to Forest. Down the left-hand side, thrown backwards to Murillo. Murillo now for Mangala, 10 yards inside the Blackpool half, centre field. Rolls it to his right for Williams. Williams now for Dominguez. Tucks it back infield for Mangala. Dominguez has it again. Dominguez still 10 yards into the Blackpool half for Yates. Now Mangala. Mangala put under pressure by Joseph. Sends it backwards for Omar Bamadelli. He moves it just about in time. Forward to Toffolo. Toffolo with Aguilera outside him, left wing. Aguilera jinks away from Gabriel. Running in towards the edge of the penalty area. Gabriel with an excellent challenge when it looked like Aguilera might get away from him. And then Aguilera, in trying to win the ball back, fouls him. That was excellent from the former Forest man.
It was excellent. I mean, behind, he had to wrap his foot right round Aguilera to get round the ball, and took a chance doing that because Aguilera was just approaching the penalty area at that time. They got his tackle up spot on, and he had to, but fair play to the right wing back actually tonight.
2 minutes of the 10 added have been played. 8 to go of effectively normal time, but you know what I mean. Cleared by O'Donnell. Underneath it is Toffolo to head away. Headed backwards by Danilo towards halfway. Gabriel heads it forward. Then Gabriel mistimes his header, but it's lofted forward by Connolly towards Kyle Joseph. Cleared by Omid Bamadelli. They're appealing for handball against Kyle Joseph in that aerial challenge with Murillo.
Yeah, I think it's what the clearance from Bamadelli was kind of like flicked off the boot of Murillo, but Liza said no, not having that.
Gabriel to take the throw, level with the edge of the Forest penalty area, down Blackpool's right hand side.
I can see where it's going. Obviously the near post is Ward in front of Ekpiteta, and there they are trailing for the ball there.
Murillo gets up and heads away to the edge of the box, further away by Toffolo. Dominguez looking to lead the break. Andy Lyons just about manages to get to it first, albeit that Dominguez keeps possession. Then Omar Bamadelli forward early towards Yates. Yates tries to knock it ahead of himself while bringing it down all in one movement. And then Yates rather bodily just throws Husband out the way as Husband was trying to stop Yates from taking a quick throw. Again, the referee brandishes a card from about 15 yards distance at one of the players. I assume that's Yates for throwing his man over.
I didn't think so. I think it was.
Do you think it was the Blackpool guy for obstructing
but
Yates?
Like you say, he's too far away. We can't really tell who he's brandishing the cards to.
Yates hits the byline, pulls over a cross which goes just too long. Aguilera goes and retrieves down the left-hand side, keeps the ball in play, getting support now from Toffolo, who crosses first time towards the back post. It's going to fall for Nico Williams to drive. He hit it well, but it was blocked almost at source. Now it's down the line towards Williams, who crosses first time, back post for Aguilera, brings it down nicely. Aguilera, he fires it back across the face of goal, comes back out for Williams, he volleys it and mistimes it, and it slices out to the edge of the penalty area. It's frantic stuff now, and we've almost played 5 minutes of added time. Of the 10, it remains 2-2.
Loads of excitement, loads of poor crosses, poor shots, poor defending, great defending, lots of good and bad the whole night really.
And still, we are no closer to knowing who's going to win this third round tie than we were when we kicked off 180 odd minutes ago, nearly 200 minutes I guess, given all the added time there's been at the City Ground 10 days ago. 2-2 here, 2-2 there. And here's Joseph down the left wing for Blackpool, firing in a low cross, blocked by Omar Bamadelli. They'll have a corner.
He has played well since came on, Joseph. Big lad, but he's been energy, he's been direct, he's caused problems in the air, and he's forced another corner.
Scored the second goal, scored the equalising goal for Blackpool. Omar Bamadelli and Danilo put Forest 2-0 up. Albie Morgan and Kyle Joseph with the replies for Blackpool, who now have a corner. Rolled short to the corner of the box for Dembele. Dembele, edge of the penalty area, shoots low. Side foot straight at Odysseus, who makes the save. Carries it to the edge of the penalty area and then clears. And as he looked for Dominguez, Dominguez was fouled. And the referee's got his card out again. And who's he going to book this time? He's going to book Albie Morgan, I think it was, who was running back to impede Dominguez trying to run onto a ball over the top. Now Dominguez has been booked as well. So Dominguez has been booked. That means it wasn't Dominguez who was booked for the first one earlier in the half, but he now has been booked. And I think it was Ryan Yates for chucking James Husband on the floor a few minutes ago. The referee now telling Dominguez that he's got to go back a few yards with the free kick. It's only 7 or 8 inside the Blackpool half. 6, nearly 7 now minutes of added time played. Dominguez towards the back edge of the box. Joseph gets up, but it'll fall for Murillo. Murillo just inside the penalty area, trying to get it under control. Left wing dribble, fires over the cross, blocked out for a corner. Can Forest win it deep into added time? Still 3 minutes of added time to play. Can Forest get the winner from a set piece that takes them into the 4th round? Harry Toffolo goes across to take the corner from the left hand side. So it'll be an outswinging corner from Toffolo, left-footed. In it comes towards the back post, and it's headed by a combination of Ekpiteta and Murillo, and then volleyed away as the ball goes loose. Ekpiteta struggling a little bit, I think. They've taken the throw quickly. Toffolo to Wood down the line. He would have been offside, but of course it's from a throw. He's left wing, Chris Wood. Low ball in towards the near post, looking for Danilo. Might still fall for Danilo. No, it doesn't. It's scrambled away towards halfway. Murillo trying to take on Lavery. Wins that challenge. Ball goes loose down the Forest right wing. Cleared away though by Husband. Long into the Forest half, and Dembele is onside. And Dembele is 1-on-1. Goes round Odysseus, tight angle. It's blocked by Mangala. Where did he come from, and how was he onside? Long ball forward from Husband, and Dembele was suddenly all on his own. But by the time he took on Odysseus, he gave himself such a tight angle. Mangala got back and effectively cleared it, not quite on the line, but certainly from going across the line. And it remains 2-2, and we're almost at 9 minutes of the 10. Here's Dominguez on the edge of the penalty area. He shoots, that's deflected, and Forest will have another corner.
Firstly, well played Mangala. Secondly, I watched the line actually, and it wasn't a line. The line was all over the shot when the ball's played through, and Dembele was definitely onside.
Over goes Toffolo. I think it's him anyway. All the Forest fans on their feet. It is Toffolo to take the corner from the Forest left wing. Maybe this is the last chance. 10th minute of added time. In it comes. It's cleared away to the edge of the penalty area. Aguilera fires one. That's blocked. And now Blackpool look to break again, but Dembele loses control of it, and it goes out of play for a throw on halfway. Mangala takes backwards, and back to Odysseus.
Takes the credit a minute ago.
Here's Mangala once again, 10 yards inside his own half. And now Omar Bamadeli. Nearly 10 minutes played of added time. Sent forward to Danilo, lays it off for Dominguez. Dominguez stabs it forward to Wood. Wood keeps it moving left hand side for Toffolo, edge of the box, just inside the penalty area, bangs it in low, cleared by Ekpiteta, comes out for Aguilera. He gives it to Toffolo. Toffolo left wing, rolls it infield to Dominguez. Dominguez fires it in towards the back post. It won't matter because the full-time whistle has gone, and it finishes 2-2. And Forest, despite a rousing finish, are unable to find a way through within 10 minutes of added time. And we will have extra time on the Fylde coast in the FA Cup third round as Forest's troubles with Blackpool continue. 2-0 up, a minute into the second half. They can't get the job done. And it finishes 2-2 after normal time, plus 10 minutes of added time, and we'll go to extra time.
Wow, I mean, you wouldn't say it's been a controlled, calm, brilliant, technical second half, but that is there for you, the FA Cup, when the big boy is coasting to a 2-0 victory and makes a bit of a hash of a pass across the face of the 6-yard box, 12-yard box area, and then Murillo's been brilliant all evening. He slashes a poor clearance, and then panic sets in with the next 10 seconds, and then from 20-odd yards, their midfield player finds a worldie in the top left-hand corner, and from that the crowd erupts. The crowd are on their side. Bring on the subs, bring on the cavalry, put it in the corner flags, chase in behind, get momentum, and that game changed on a poor pass, I thought, from Bamidelli, giving Murillo a bit of a problem really. But after that, it's just been about energy and hunger and desire and belief that you can tell they believe they can get goals against Forest back four in that second half, and it was coming the second goal. And you've got to say at the end of the game we could have won it possibly, but they've had the two best chances in that last period, and certainly Dembele one-on-one with the keeper goes round. But the keeper's not been stupid, he's sent him wide, and then Mangala gets back brilliantly to save the day. So all in all, fantastic second half. I need a quick toilet break, so I've got to go now and leave you guys together. I've got 5 minutes to get back for the first period of extra time, but that's been a really unexpected second half because I didn't see it coming after the 46 minutes at all. I'm with the toilet.
Have a good one, Steve. It is cold. We should mention that. Both sets of players are in a huddle away on the far side. As we head for extra time here on Match Night from BBC Radio Nottingham. The story of the game, Andrew Omobamidele with the opening goal on his debut for Forest. He's had to wait a long time for that debut since signing on deadline day in what was September. Gets his debut, scores within 16 minutes. Tidy finish from the back post after Yates had flicked on a Dominguez corner. Early in the second half they get 2-0 ahead, with Danilo finishing off a move which saw Dominguez onto a loose pass back by Albie Morgan, brought down by the goalkeeper, who ended up getting injured because of that and leaving the field. But the referee allowed play on because Danilo ran onto the ball and smashed it low into the corner off a deflection to give Forest a 2-0 lead at that point. And they were comfortable until the hour mark, and then suddenly all sorts of panic set in at the back, presenting Albie Morgan with a chance to smash one in top corner from the edge, which he did on 61 minutes. And then Kyle Joseph nodding in from very close range from Andy Lyon's cross with 12 minutes to go. Harum-scarum from then, particularly through 10 minutes of added time, and it's 2-2. And how Forest have thrown away a 2-0 lead at a League One side to end up with extra time 3 days before a Premier League game at Brentford. I do not know. I mean, Brentford will be sat rubbing their hands. They had to do it last night, but they've of course got the extra night, the extra day to recover. Elsewhere, Norwich have beaten Bristol Rovers by 3-1, and Everton beat Crystal Palace by 1-0. So Everton are through, Norwich are through, and Forest and Blackpool are still going on, and they're the last sides who don't know who's going to go into the fourth round. And I don't think we've had any further substitutions. So Aguilera and Toffolo on for Forest. They're the only two so far for Forest. There have been 4 for Blackpool. They changed their front 3. And of course earlier had to change the goalkeeper after Grimshaw got injured. Extra time, Mull of Kintyre, maybe a little bit muted. Perhaps, understandably, from the away fans. But Forest have to go again. Let's see if their Premier League fitness levels can tell in extra time. We're underway, and straight away here's Danilo laying it off for Yates, 25 yards out. He finds Dominguez right at the penalty area. He crosses into the box, and it's cleared by a stooping Ekpiteta. Mangala doing battle with Kyle Joseph, fouled by Kyle Joseph, and Forest get a free kick 10 yards inside the Blackpool half. Forest have kicked off in the first period of extra time, playing from left to right. It's the same way as they played in the first half. They've taken a short free kick here and completely messed it up. Blackpool send it forward. Lavery chasing down the left-hand side, up against Omar Bamidele, who gets there first and tucks the ball back to his goalkeeper, Odysseus. You'll be pleased to hear that Steve Hodges made it back and didn't miss a kick of extra time. Sent forward by Blackpool, headed away by Murillo. Danilo turns away from Norburn in midfield and wins the ball. Is allowed to go on and gives it to Wood, left wing. He backheels it to Aguilera. Aguilera with a low cross. Ekpiteta gets a foot to it to stop it, and then it's thumped away by Albie Morgan. 2-2, Forest throw midway inside the Blackpool half. Left by Aguilera for Toffolo to take, but the referee says he's got to go back 10 yards or so. And Toffolo now throws down the line to Brandon Aguilera. Is it back to Toffolo? And Aguilera again, infield to Mangala. Mangala turns away from one challenge and he's fouled. It was Norburn who tackled him. And Forest get a free kick, which is about 20 yards inside the Blackpool half. Left of centre, Harry Toffolo prepares to take it, with a couple of minutes of extra time played on Match Night from BBC Radio Nottingham. Toffolo, line of bodies across the edge of the penalty area. Toffolo takes, high this goes towards the back post. It might come all the way through to Murillo. It doesn't, because Kyle Joseph gets in the way, I think with his shoulder, and turns it behind for a Forest corner. Forest have started extra time on the front foot. And Nico Williams across to take. 4 players again around the penalty spot, all waiting to move as Nico Williams runs up to take the corner, right-footed, out swinging, and it comes back post for Dominguez to fire on the half volley, but wide of the target and away for a goal kick. And Richard O'Donnell just tells the fans behind the goal where the ball ended up to take their time. Don't rush to give the ball back, so they're not. They're throwing it backwards and knocking it around between them, and now he looks for a different ball, which tells you something, I guess, about the way Forest have started extra time. As I say, on the front foot. And O'Donnell, 35 years of age, said he was experienced. Just using that experience, and the Blackpool fans are having fun with the other ball, which they're playing volleyball with all around that stand behind the goal, away to our right. O'Donnell clears right to left, and it's just over the head of Aguilera. Did he touch it? No, he didn't. So he tried to get up and head it away, and it went just over his head and out for a throw. Now he gets a touch Aguilera from Toffolo's throw. Gives it back to Toffolo, intercepted by Gabriel. Murillo heads the ball half away, but Dembele picks it up, trying to turn away from Toffolo. Does turn away and gives it left-hand side to Lyons on the corner of the penalty area. He's challenged, but the ball breaks for Husband in support. Husband hits the byline, pulls it across right through the penalty area, right over the penalty area, and Aguilera does battle with Dembele, shrugs Dembele off the ball. Dembele goes down, Aguilera tries to clear down the line, it hits Dembele and goes out for a goal kick. 4 gone in extra time, and it's still 2-2. Steve Hodge.
Anybody's game still, it really is. Get back to, minute 1 is the keeper on the ball now for Forest, and the back four's around him. I don't know why he's doing it. Basically he's just going to launch it, and that's what he's done, exactly that now. I don't know why he was even thinking about playing short, really.
Headed on by Aguilera. Ekpiteta clears, Mangala breaks it up in midfield and gets the return ball from Yates. Lays it off now for Williams, 10 yards inside the Blackpool half. Now Mangala again, turning away and into space. Knocks it right hand side for Williams. He's got 10 yards of space around him as well. Swings over the early cross. It's deflected away towards the left wing. This is Aguilera just inside the penalty area. Aguilera low ball in, and on the turn. Oh, it's a good save to deny Danilo. Flag is up for offside. Danilo near post. Ball played into his feet by Aguilera. But as he turned and hit it towards goal, O'Donnell saved anyway. But the flag is up, and Forest were offside, and it remains 2-2.
Yeah, but at least Forest from the front foot now, having attempts and having the ball around the final third of Blackpool. You know, obviously going back to the last 20 minutes of the normal time, it was just all Blackpool, so that momentum shift has slightly balanced itself out now. It's more of an even game. Forest getting on the ball a little bit more, and to be fair, the crowd are quieter now as well.
O'Donnell to clear. Well, the last thing Forest really wanted from this tie was a replay. The last thing they wanted from the replay was extra time. But they only have themselves to blame. Had the chances to win the tie at the City Ground despite going 2-0 down, getting back to 2-2. And they were 2-0 up in this one. Here's Husband for Blackpool down the left wing. Rolls the ball infield towards Morgan. Morgan then angles a diagonal back post for Jordan Gabriel, who controls on his chest but then falls over, and Aguilera takes it away from the penalty area and strides forward and gives it to Yates, and Yates, who's just inside the Blackpool half, keeps it moving for Dominguez, and Dominguez looks for the back post, drills it across towards Danilo, who chests it down for Aguilera, who shoots, and that's blocked, and now Blackpool can go the other way. Chipped forward by Dembele towards Lavery. Out comes Odysseus and calmly lays it off for Murillo, having got there ahead of Lavery. And it remains 2-2. Another flurry of activity. Looked as if Forest might just catch Blackpool a little bit short-handed at the back on that break. Led by Aguilera. Good pace from him from the edge of his own penalty area. Williams heads this ball forward. Morgan intercepts it. Williams with a touch. And it goes out for a Blackpool throw 10-15 yards inside their own half. This can be taken by James Husband. Throws down the line. Joseph heads infield towards Lavery. Lavery 25 yards out, tackled by Murillo. Ball still breaks for Lavery, switches it across to the right hand side, finds its way to Gabriel midway inside the Forest half. Back infield for Norburn. Now Morgan chips one high down the right wing for Blackpool towards Gabriel. Gabriel and Aguilera tangle. Gabriel goes down. Nothing given. Danilo sends it forward early, looking for Wood. Chris Wood brings it down nicely. He's 30 yards out, back to goal. That's to stab it back towards halfway for Williams. And he gives it now to Ryan Yates. Middle of the Blackpool half. Yates. Left-hand side for Danilo. Now Dominguez. First time for Yates again. Yates square for Dominguez. Still 30 yards out. Inching forwards. Now plays a ball out towards the left wing for Toffolo. Toffolo's got room to cross. Toffolo does cross. It's helped on by Aguilera and loops into the air off that touch from Aguilera and is claimed by O'Donnell.
Yeah, tough night for Chris Wood tonight. Not really had much joy up front against the big centre-half from Blackpool. His hold-up play's been okay at times, but been outnumbered, and at times in the game on his own up top of the pitch. He said it's been a tough night for the centre-forward.
O'Donnell clears out of his hands and straight out into touch for a Forest throw, 15 yards or so inside their own half. Down their left, far side from us, Toffolo to take. Forest in their navy blue and salmon third kit. Aguilera into Wood's feet and laid off to Mangala, and now Omobamidele for Yates. Yates just to the right of the centre circle, trips one forward, he's looking for Danilo, but it's headed away by Connolly, pushed by Mangala on Lavery. Free kick for Blackpool, fairly obvious one. Mangala not among those booked. Sent forward early by Morgan down the left hand side for Lions. Controls on his chest, left wing, faced by Williams. Gets help now from Husband. Husband fires over the cross, goes right through the 6-yard box. Again, no contact with two flying in at it. Dembele and Lavery. Aguilera for Danilo, and Aguilera once again dinks it forward and away, but straight to Morgan. Morgan's header though is intercepted by Mangala. Now Yates for Dominguez. Dominguez up towards halfway. Dominguez turns it left hand side and gives it to Toffolo. Toffolo now for Aguilera. Cross from the left hand side, cleared by Ekpiteta and goes straight to Morgan. Albie Morgan for Blackpool sends it up to Lavery inside left channel, taking on Omobamidele, cuts inside him and loops a shot towards goal, which deflects off Murillo and goes out of play. Murillo has cramped up, and I think I've just seen Is that Scott McKenna on the way on the far side? But Murillo is definitely cramped.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I said about, I don't know, half an hour ago, would you get McKenna or Worrell on? Because obviously he's vital for the Premier League and you don't want him getting injured, and he's gone down with no one near him. So I think it's just probably tiredness and cramp. But you know, the worst thing is to pull a hamstring or a calf and he'd miss for a month of the season or 6 weeks. So any doubts now? I know it's a cup tie and that, but they've got to get him off when he's off, to be fair. Now he's coming off.
Yep. Murillo still down at the moment. The referee is...
He's saying no.
Murillo's saying no, you leave me on. No, too late. Too late, it's being done. Murillo is being substituted. And he acknowledges it with a wave of his hand. And on comes Scott McKenna. Long time since we've seen the Scotsman. He's on at the back for Murillo. And there's another change as well, as Montiel comes on to replace Nico Williams.
Yeah, I can understand it. It makes sense. It's not great if you're going on, to be fair, with 20 minutes to go in a cup tie like this and you're just freezing cold and sat there for 2 hours. I mean, go on quickly, but you know, from looking forward ahead to the future games, no point getting injuries now.
So Montiel into the action, and again it's a double change for Forest. And 2 new defenders coming on as they're defending a corner, which Morgan is going to take from the right hand side. Right-footed out-swinging corner, and up gets McKenna and powerfully heads it away. And they go out for a throw near the corner flag on the far side.
You're right, Colin. What was a brilliant head. I mean, McKenna's been out for a long time, but that was just to show there how good he is in the air.
Very good header away, but it has given Blackpool this throw. Dangerous position. And over goes Jordan Gabriel to take. Calls for more noise from the supporters, thinly sparse as they are over on that far side. And now hurls in a long throw in towards the near post. Crowd of bodies go down. It's half cleared, nodded back into the penalty area, and that goes loose into the arms of the goalkeeper, who clears long from left to right. Onto the head of Dominguez, who nods it past his man, but Morgan is back to defend in behind the defenders. Lofts it forward, but given away to Montiel. Montiel gives Lyons the daggers after Lyons ran into him. And now here's Aguilera, left-hand side, takes on one, rolls it into Danilo, gets the return ball, bursts away down the left-hand side. Brandon Aguilera now looks up and crosses in towards Yates, who volleys from the penalty spot over the crossbar. A one-bounce cross seemed to be falling nicely for Ryan Yates, but his left foot volley goes over, and it remains 2-2. And we've got about a minute to go at the end of the first period of extra time.
A decent chance and good play again from Aguilera. Actually, he come on the pitch actually and played pretty well in this. You know, I think he's had 20 minutes so far. Technical player, left wing, got the ball back onto his right foot and then pulled it back across the face of the 6-yard box. Tough one for Yates to take on his left foot, bobbling ball. Caught it sweetly, but smashed it over the bar. Half a chance, but wasn't to be on that occasion for Ryan Yates.
I think one or two of the Forest fans, no more than one or two, there are plenty of Forest fans, I think, trying to draw their attention to something that's happening just away to our left-hand side, and I wonder if a supporter needs some help in there, maybe some medical assistance, something like that. As Aguilera, play goes on the field, stewards are racing to try and do something, as Omar Bamidele finds Montiel. Montiel rolls it infield to Yates, and the referee now stops play with Yates in possession, not because of what's happening in the crowd, but because another ball had appeared on the pitch. I think it's that one that the Blackpool fans were looking after for ages. They threw into the middle of the penalty area. A load of policemen have now turned up to try and help. There isn't any trouble or anything away to our left. I hasten to add, I think they're calling for somebody who needs some help and maybe, as I say, some medical support. Here's Omar Bamidele turning the ball to the right-hand side for Dominguez. Dominguez rolls it infield to Yates. We're playing added time at the end of the first period of extra time. Omobamidele wide right for Montiel. Tucks the ball backwards for Yates. Yates now for Omobamidele. Knocked away from him by Lavery. That hurt Omobamidele. As in comes some medical staff to offer their help to the supporter away to our left-hand side. Omobamidele gets back up to his feet. And Montiel throws in, and that is the end of the first period of extra time. Some of the Forest players are now looking up into the stand as if to question what's going on, because I think the fans were trying to get the referee's attention as well to what was happening in the stand. Ryan Yates and some of the Forest players are now calling the Forest medical staff across to try and offer their help, and across they come from the far side of the pitch, sprinting across, and the players look very concerned about what's happening here. They're calling for a gap to be left so that the Forest medical staff can go and help out. The Blackpool staff have come across as well to see if they can help out, and a few of the Forest fans alongside us are just making their way out of the way, just making sure they can get out of the way so that people can get the help they need, and the people that can offer that help can get to where they need to get to. Just hope everything is okay. It is only a few seats away to our left-hand side, and this is just one of those occasions where you hope that the medical support has got there quickly enough and everything is going to be okay. And we wonder whether or not this will have an effect on potentially a delay to the start of the second period of extra time. Nuno was kind of looking across to this near side. He has stayed over on that far side, but he stood with his arms folded and he's not really getting involved in any sort of team talk during the half-time period of extra time. I think he's maybe having a little chat with the referee. Neil Critchley is having a chat with the referee now as well, as there is some netting here which was covering 3 rows of seats, or 3 columns of seats to our left-hand side. That's just being moved out of the way so that the access to the affected person can be a little bit easier. 2 of the club medical staff are now making their way away, and hopefully that's a good sign actually, because they haven't been there long. As I mentioned, there are some paramedics now arriving as well, and it's kind of occasions like this where your focus is on what's happening there, because that's more important than what's happening out there. But it does look like they're coming out to start the second half of extra time. And a ripple of applause, which is usually good news in these circumstances. But I don't know if that's from those who have seen the team come out rather than for what's happening medically away to our left-hand side. Forest players are out, ready for the second period of extra time. 1 or 2 of the players just asking the medical staff as they walk back across. And I think there was little thumbs up. Referee just checking now as well. So hopefully that's better news from away to our left, and that looks like Joe Worrell coming on at half time in extra time. Well, they say he's replacing number 7. He can't do that. Number 7's already gone off. That was Nico Williams, replaced by Gonzalo Montiel.
You'd imagine it'll be Omobamidele, I would imagine, when he went down injured.
Yeah, Omobamidele's
5 minutes ago.
Yeah, he did right at the end of the first period of extra time. And he's not out there for the start of the second period of extra time, as 1 or 2 more of the police officers that were involved start to involved in a helping capacity, I should say, away to our left-hand side. They make their way away. There are still policemen and paramedics in attendance away to the left. But on the pitch, we are ready to start the second period of extra time. Blackpool it is who are going to kick us off. It remains 2-2. Worrell is on for Omar Bamadeli. Worrell and McKenna, their partnership at centre-half is renewed. And Forest kicking right to left in this second period of extra time. Danilo's mistake sells Harry Toffolo short, and he has to foul Lions, and so it'll be a free kick for Blackpool, 10 yards inside their own half and on their right hand side. So Forest start this second period of extra time with Odysseus in goal, Montiel, Worrell, McKenna and Toffolo across the back four, Mangala sitting in front of that back four, then Danilo and Yates also in the centre of midfield, Aguilera on the left hand side, Dominguez on the right. Norburn holds Danilo and gets a yellow card, and Chris Wood up front through the middle. 2-2. Things quietening down a little bit to our right, but attention still being given. And a free kick for Forest just inside the Blackpool, their own half rather, by a yard or so. And Scott McKenna to take, left-footed, drives it forward towards the right-hand side, looking for Montiel, who's well forward, whipped away from him by Owen Dale, who's come on for Blackpool. Another substitute for the Tangerines.
Yeah, so we'll see how things go. And obviously Blackpool still want to go for the win, as will Forest, but you know, both teams may say we'll take what we've got now, but I think Forest obviously have to go for it. Blackpool may just play a bit more conservative now. I think while we were out, more or less out, and now we've found ourselves back in it. There's 12 minutes to go. We'll have a little bit of caution about what we do.
Now that applause is encouraging from our left-hand side, because that suggests a good outcome at the moment to whatever medical emergency was happening away to our left. Meanwhile, on the pitch, Danilo trying to make himself a nuisance in the right wing position, but it's cleared up towards Albie Morgan. He finds Lavery. Lavery battling with Worrell, and Lavery has laid it off towards Kyle Joseph, and Blackpool flooding forwards. Here's Joseph into the penalty area. Shot blocked, and it spins off towards Aguilera. He gives it to Danilo, and Danilo up towards Wood down the left-hand side. He's bundled into by Ekpiteta, and a free kick, and then Ekpiteta stops him taking it quickly, and Ekpiteta is yellow carded. And it's a free kick just inside.
So Forest end the game then with a completely different back four to one that started it.
Yep. Having made 3 changes from the starting lineup, 3 of them reversed, and Scott McKenna back in action for the first time since the home game against Burnley in the Premier League. It's been a long time, as this is sent forward to Dominguez down the right wing. He does well to keep the ball in play, and he eventually goes out off a couple of challenges on that right hand side for a corner.
Yeah, good pressure there from Forest in the corner flag. I think, is it Montiel on the ball now? He's pointing across. He wants Aguilera to come across and take the corner. That's exactly what he's doing as well.
Yep, Aguilera across to take it. It's been lively since he came off the bench. Brandon Aguilera, 20-year-old Costa Rican, only his second first team appearance. And he's going to take this corner from the right hand side, left-footed, in-swinging corner, right underneath the goalkeeper, and punched away by O'Donnell. Mangala nods it to his left. This is Dominguez, gives it back to Mangala. Mangala protects the ball, holds on to it, gives it Dominguez again. Dominguez now near the corner flag, left hand side, faced by Lions. Feeds it back towards Danilo, who's 10 yards out, and now it might fall for Yates, who drives it across, and it's put in! At close range, it's Chris Wood. Did he get a touch before it was across the line, or is it Yates' goal? I think it's Chris Wood who scored. Wood goes across towards the technical area away on the far side. I think he's calling for a drink. Yates, meanwhile, celebrates in front of the supporters. But Forest have gone in front 5 minutes into the second period of extra time. Chris Wood, the reason he went across to the dugout is because he wanted to get a shirt. It's the number 8 shirt of Cheku Koyate. Wood remembering his teammate who's away on AFCON duty at the moment, but has suffered a family tragedy this week with his father passing away. And Chris Wood keen to mark that as he taps in Ryan Yates' drilled ball across the 6-yard box from close range and puts Forest 3-2 ahead 5 minutes into the second period.
Yeah, I mean, he's been quiet the whole game. I mentioned that actually, but centre forwards as they do, right place, right time. Not had much of a kick all night, nor much of a sight to goal really, but that was just a really good build up from Forest. And the corner flag with Dominguez found Yates on the byline. He pinged it across, and there was Wood, no one on him, 2 yards out, couldn't miss, and that's where he needed to be. Good finish from the New Zealander, and for him a frustrating night, but could end up being a hero all being well.
Not the first time that shirt's been out, by the way, tonight. Andrew Omobamidele did it after the first goal. I'm not sure whether or not Danilo did after the second, but certainly Chris Wood wanted to make the point. Forest wearing black armbands as well, in memory of Cheku's father tonight. And Forest leading in the FA Cup. 3-2 up. Wood now shoves Ekpateta in an aerial challenge. It's his 8th goal of the season, Chris Wood. Yates drilling it in. And, well, not quite a simple tap in, because Yates really did drill it in. Had to steer it home, did Chris Wood, but did so with aplomb from close range. And we're almost halfway through the second period of extra time, and Forest are leading in the cup tie. Now, can they see out the job this time? Can they get it done? And can they finally get through to the 4th round of the FA Cup and a trip to Bristol City a week on Friday? Toffolo sends this long and forward towards Aguilera. It's volleyed away by Lyons. Danilo calls for more noise from a couple of thousand Forest fans. And Toffolo prepares to take a throw about halfway inside the Blackpool half. Near side to us, throws down the line towards Wood. Wood under pressure from 2 near the corner flag. Given a bit of a shove is Chris Wood, but he's still battling. Aguilera goes to help out as well to make it 2v2. Cleared away and then brought down nicely by Morgan, who leaves it for Dembele, and Dembele up towards halfway, lays it off to his left. Biggest ball, it was Joseph who brought it down, and now Albie Morgan pings it across towards the left hand side, headed away by Montiel. Straight back though to Morgan, and Morgan finds Norburn with a chip out towards the right wing, but Aguilera is back defending and nods it away to Danilo. Danilo trying to run away from Norburn down the left wing, now rolls it infield to Aguilera. Yates wants it played to him in space, but Aguilera's chipped it forward towards Wood, drops over his shoulder. Great save from O'Donnell as Wood from the inside right channel helped it towards goal first time, and O'Donnell came out and smothered it, and means that Blackpool are still in the tie, because surely another goal at that point for Forest would have done it. Wood denied. Here's Toffolo sending it forward, but too long for Aguilera this time, and goes through to O'Donnell, who's just made what could have been a crucial save.
Yeah, I think another through ball. I think it's Aguilera, another great through ball there. Lovely left foot he's got. Sees the pass and really good technique, and he's been really good in his cameo so far, and I'm very impressed with him. And Wood 1-on-1 with the keeper. I thought to say he might score a little chip over the keeper, but he got his technique all wrong, and O'Donnell made the save, but still in the balance of the game. But obviously Forest at the moment have got to hang in there somehow for 6 more minutes.
A Throw for Blackpool, level with the edge of the Forest penalty area. Match night from BBC Radio Nottingham. Late into the night in Blackpool. In comes the cross and a header drifting wide from Lyons from the edge of the penalty area. Out for a goal kick. And this time the Blackpool supporters behind that goal away to our right are in more of a hurry to send the ball back. And Forest have got 5 minutes plus whatever time is added on at the end of extra time. There's bound to be some, because it feels like the never-ending cup tie. Cleared by Odysseus, right to left. Forest 3-2 ahead. Helped on by Wood to Aguilera, taking on, or trying to take on Ekpiteta. The ball wouldn't quite sit for him. Ekpiteta volleys it clear. Toffolo wins the header. Mangala brings it down nicely. Turns away from Norburn. Feeds it through to Wood, who's offside. Down the inside left channel. And the whistle goes.
Might get a card for that.
Yeah, he's going to get yellow carded, Chris Wood. I don't think he... Well, he'll claim he never even heard the whistle. And that is indeed what he's claiming to referee Darren Bond.
I mean, to be fair also, he's got a point. I mean, your head's looking at the ball.
Yeah, he's just concentrating on battling with your defender.
Yeah.
Richard O'Donnell, the goalkeeper's not happy with Darren Bond about something either. So Wood's been booked. FA Cup bookings are only in the FA Cup. They don't count towards Premier League suspensions or anything. You pick up a couple in the FA Cup, you'll be suspended for the next match. The only one booked at the City Ground was Nuno, who hasn't been tonight. Here's Danilo coming forward for Forest, lays it off for Aguilera. Aguilera's first touch takes him past one. Now he gives it back to Danilo, edge of the box, who shoots, and O'Donnell falls on it.
Keeper's going to go long.
Yeah. Blackpool have to commit bodies forward now. There's only 3.5 minutes to go, plus added time at the end of extra time as McKenna clears. And that means that they might be susceptible to the counter-attack, but Callum Connolly's got lots of space to run into over halfway. Toffolo gets in front of Dembele and wins the challenge, and that goes away for a throw to Blackpool down the right-hand side. Now Forest have got Wood, Dominguez, Yates, Danilo and Murillo all in the notebook tonight. But, they've also got 3 goals from Wood, Danilo and Omar Bamidele, and they lead 3-2 deep into extra time at Bloomfield Road. Here's Yates, little chip down the right hand side for Dominguez, who heads it in front of him and carries it into Blackpool territory, rolls it to his left for Danilo for Yates, for Dominguez. Forest just going to try and eat up time now by keeping possession inside the Blackpool half. It's neat one-touch football to Montiel down the right-hand side. Yates wants it played infield. Montiel sees it knocked away from him by Dale. And out for a throw. Montiel to take down the line towards Dominguez. Dominguez battling in the corner with Owen Dale and with Kyle Joseph, who's coming back to help as well. And in the end, Dominguez knocks it away from Joseph and out for a throw for Blackpool, just a couple of yards from their own corner flag. 2 minutes remaining of extra time. Blackpool 2, Forest 3. Montiel tugging the shirt of Shane Lavery. Free kick Blackpool. A pair of them just square up at each other for a couple of seconds. There's some verbals going on after the event as well as we're underway. This is Albie Morgan for Blackpool. Long ball down their left hand side.
Good ball.
It's a good ball as well out wide left. There's Husband trying to fire over the cross. That's deflected towards Dominguez. Goes out of play though for a Blackpool throw. Left for Husband to take. Coming into the 15th and final minute of the second period of extra time. Then there'll be added time. Not much of it, you fancy, but a bit of it. Another throw for Blackpool, a few yards from the corner flag, left hand side, far side from us, to be taken by James Husband again. 3-2 Forest. Husband into the penalty area. Yates gets up and heads it away. It's not helped very far away by Danilo. Connolly shoots, that's blocked. It's bashed away by Aguilera. Danilo now is limping heavily. He's hurt his ankle. Yates is telling him that he needs to get up, because Forest need everybody. Here's Dembele towards the edge of the penalty area, headed on by Ekpiteta. Tackled by Dominguez. Good tackle from Dominguez as well. Now here's Yates. Danilo has stayed upfield. Wood has gone back to help out defensively. Danilo's a limping passenger at the moment. We've got 2 minutes of added time. In comes the ball deep towards the back post. Lyons nods it down. McKenna hammers it away. High in the sky. It drops down for Norburn. He turns it to his right. This is Dembele. Dembele taking on Aguilera. Tripped by Aguilera. Free kick Blackpool. 30 seconds into added time at the end of extra time. It's 30 yards out. It's well right of centre. It's only 10 yards or so in from this near touchline. The Blackpool right. Albie Morgan to take. Into the penalty area. Towards the back post it goes. And it flicks off the heads. And it goes out of play off a Forest head. And so it's a corner. Morgan across. Richard O'Donnell is asking Neil Critchley if he should go forward, and Neil Critchley, his manager, says yes. O'Donnell, the goalkeeper, is forward into the penalty area. Forest, of course, with everybody back. Morgan takes the corner. Odysseus punches from virtually underneath his crossbar. Here's O'Donnell as a right winger, gives the ball away to Mangala, and now Brandon Aguilera has it. Aguilera shoots for goal from deep inside his own half, but shoots wide. And it's going to be a goal kick, and he acknowledges the run that Chris Wood was making and Dominguez was making, and maybe an angled ball across the field might have been a better option for somebody else to run onto and be closer to goal. As it is, it's eaten up precious seconds anyway, and O'Donnell has been told he took the goal kick with a rolling ball or from the wrong place, so has to go back and do it again. He does, and now it's drilled long and forward again. Forest 3-2 up. We're just about at the end of 2 minutes of added time, at the end of extra time. Yates sweeps it away and out into touch for a throw. That is 2 minutes of added time. Worrell bundles into the back of his man Lavery on the edge of the penalty area, and it's a free kick for Blackpool. Couple of yards outside the corner of the penalty area.
I don't know what Joe's thinking. I don't know, just let him have the ball. He's going absolutely nowhere. Silly challenge.
There's another yellow card brandished, apparently to thin air. I'm not sure it was a bad enough challenge from Worrell to earn a yellow card. I think Montiel may have said something. He and Dominguez are now standing right where the free kick will be taken from. We've played getting on for 3 minutes of added time at the end of extra time. And the free kick is going to be taken by Albie Morgan. He has been such an influential figure in this tie. And from the left edge of the penalty area, he's going to drill in a free kick to try and equalise for Blackpool. It is low, into the near post, cleared, referee blows his whistle, and finally, Forest have seen off League One Blackpool after extra time in a replay in the FA Cup third round. Forest have won the game by 3-2, having been 2-0 up and pegged back to 2-2. They've finally got the job done with a third goal scored by Chris Wood that turns out to be the winning goal from Chris Wood, which came 5 minutes into the second period of extra time here at Bloomfield Road. Wood is the first of the players who's on his way across to acknowledge the support of the away supporters. Away to our left-hand side, waiting for the rest of his teammates now, as the fans celebrate Forest getting through to the fourth round of the FA Cup and winning an away tie in the FA Cup for the first time in 10 years. It was a replay then at Preston. It's a replay again here tonight in Lancashire. 10 years apart, those FA Cup away wins. Danilo is limping very, very heavily at the end of that. 1 or 2 injury concerns throughout the course of the night for a pretty thin squad just at the moment. But Steve Hodge, finally, they've got the job done and they're through.
Yep, and it was a roller coaster. I think the whole tie against Blackpool has been a roller coaster, and fair play to the League One team. I think they've shown out themselves to be a very, very good team technically, and showing lots of heart tonight. From our point of view, great start, and it was a cruise for probably until the first goal went in, which was just stopping us on our part, and then the game changed on its head really straight away. It flipped on its head. We hung on towards the end of normal time really, and I have to go back to Oral Mangala and say that his clearance bang on full time was the main point and the biggest moment of the game really. That goes in, we're out. So fair play to the Belgian. He got back, did his job as a midfield player, and he saved the day. But all round, doesn't matter how you get through in the FA Cup, they're through. Tough game tonight. Both games are tough games, but in the hat for Bristol. And we're seeing a bit of a huddle down below us now on the pitch. Was that Colin Hampton?
It's because Ryan Yates has just brought across that Cheku Kouyate shirt again. It says "Thinking of you, Cheku," and Cheku Kouyate's number 8 on the back of the shirt. He's held it up to the supporters, and now Forest are having effectively a team group picture in front of the supporters. And no doubt, although it's on the opposite side to us, no doubt that shirt is front and centre. So that's a photo for Cheku really. And to tell him that they're thinking of him after the loss of his father today. Oral Mangala now holding up that shirt as well. Thinking of you. And then Kouyate and the number 8. And Forest now wander off down the tunnel at Bloomfield Road, away towards the far side, having beaten their League One opponents. 2-2 at the City Ground, 2-0 up here, 2-2 into extra time. And eventually Chris Wood, 10 minutes from the end of extra time, gets the job done. I've no idea what time it is. Feels like about midnight after all the extra time in normal time, and then the extra time, and then the extra time in extra time. But Forest have won it by 3-2.
Yes, this is Match Night on BBC Radio Nottingham. Colin, at some point, will head off and try and get some reaction from the Forest camp. The Forest players just making their way off the pitch just at the moment. The Forest fans making their way down the steps to our left. It's gone 10:30, by the way, just to give Colin his answer. But they got there in the end, Steve Hodge. They've played more football against Blackpool this season than they did when they were in the same division. But eventually, they managed to find a way past them.
Yeah, I mean, over the 2 games I probably deserved it, but you know, I've got to give Blackpool full credit tonight. I had doubts when the second goal went in for them tonight. I had real doubts, and I mentioned before a minute ago about Mangala's clearance bang on full time was the biggest moment in the tie, I suppose, really. A big shout out for Aguilera when he came on.
Yeah,
he came on and did really well. He was bright, created stuff. Got on the ball in good areas, worked hard defensively as well, and I thought for him, for a cameo like that in a tough environment, he's from Costa Rica to play against Blackpool, cold night, I thought he dealt with it really well and used the ball really well. So
he looks like a man now, doesn't he? You know, when he's
first out a little bit
when he first signed, and he kind of got these braces on his teeth and a sort of